On this one, yeah, hey, 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 hey. Skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang. Skull all the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring. We don't care what your team doing, man. They ain't messing with the perp gang. It's our year, time to get this ring. Bring it home back to the skull gang. Skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang, skull gang. Skull all the way to the bowl, man. My team about to go get a ring. We don't care what your team doing, man. They ain't messing with.
We live.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Saturday night. Purple Vibes in the Zone.
Yeah, we back with another one.
Hey, how you feeling, Zoe? How you feeling, Mike?
I'm here, man. I'm blessed. Highly favored.
I know.
I can't beat that. That's the best. I can't beat that. I'm feeling blessed too. I'm feeling good. We alive.
Yeah.
We alive to talk that talk.
With my Skull brother who put the podcast together.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's get some shout outs. We got Just a Day, Purple and Gold for Days. Be sure to subscribe to his channel.
My guy.
We got Bob. I want a Mox.
I want a Mox
in the building. And
Let's
always Mary. Welcome.
Mary.
What's going
Who
on,
else
Mary?
we got in here? Looks like we got a Packer fan up in here.
No, we don't.
Hey, Packer fan, you get the Viking horn.
Who?
Christopher Samuel. But hey, anyways, welcome. Hey,
Yo,
you can come talk that
thing, huh?
You can come talk your talk too. My worthless opinion.
Skull Mafia, my boy.
Tony Bell.
Tony, what's the deal?
Hey, Tony's Take's gonna be coming soon. Coming soon to a channel near you. Skull Mafia.
Oh, that's my boy Chris. Yeah, he a Packer fan. That's my people.
Okay.
Yeah, he love the Packer. The Packers ain't shit. I've been telling that shit for years.
It ain't about a damn thing.
Skull for life. Welcome.
My boy Chris tap in. That's what's up.
Hey, everybody in the chat, you know how we get down. We drop the link in the comments, but yeah. If you don't want your video, if you don't want to be on video, that's fine too. You could just, if you click the link, just turn your camera off. But yeah, if you want to come talk that talk. Oh, we got a Lions fan up in here too.
That's my boy D.
What up, D?
Fan in the building.
What up, D? Welcome to the Kings of the North channel. You know what I'm saying? Vikings, baby. Go purple.
I think the Lions got a chance.
They don't got no chance, man. That was a 1 year wonder for them.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
It was a 1 year wonder for them, Zoe. Yo, yeah, it was a 1 year wonder.
Man, they only won 9 games. Calm down.
I'm going to the Christmas Eve game versus the Lions. Yeah.
Where at Minnesota?
Yep.
Guess what though, Yogi? I'm going to the last game of the season. Minnesota coming to Detroit.
You going to that game?
What?
Let's go!
What?
Let's go, Skull! I'm going to Thursday night. I'm trying to. Them tickets is high. I'm like, I ain't no tickets with that thing on high.
Hey, my birthday in January, so that's a birthday present for me.
Hey, bro.
Early birthday, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself.
I know them joints, bro.
I'm about to paint my face in that motherfucker.
Yeah, that joint crazy.
Yeah, I asked the wife, I was like, hey, how about Christmas Eve? You want to go to a game that day? She was like, yep. I was like, that's what's up.
I know y'all worry. Boy, D, y'all ain't got shit coming, bro. Y'all did good for 1 year, man. We got bigger issues right now than the fucking Lions.
Yeah, we try to get to the dang on Super Bowl. We thinking Super Bowl right now.
They trying to win the division for the first time in 30 years, man.
Yeah, that's small time. You know what I'm saying? We trying to
come back another time, bro.
You know what I mean? We welcome the smoke, but y'all gotta do a little bit more for us to really give y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like not right now, D. Tonight ain't the night, bro. I got a lot of issues going on with the Minnesota Vikings, D. Not right now, D. Not right now.
Hey, but D, talk your talk. Talk your talk because we're
go ahead, Zoe.
Huh?
How you guys feel about Thursday night's game?
Man, Thursday night game, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. That shit was a damn massacre. I'm not gonna lie. They only scored 13 points. The backups was in. The offensive line looked horrible. Like the defense, I ain't gonna lie, defensive line played good, but the secondary,
Tonga.
yeah, him and a few other players played good for real. The D line looked good, but that secondary, oh man, Booth.
Ooh.
I'm through with Booth. Booth take his ass to the booth. He can call a damn football game. I'm through with him. Then Lewis seen it looked like he was all out of place and all type of shit. I'm like, they done practice all off season to display some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the offensive line, y'all. And I try to be as positive as possible. I try to be as positive, but you can't. I gotta keep it real. I gotta talk my talk. I can't sugarcoat what I seen. Like Ed Ingram still getting pushed back against second stringers. I gotta remind the chat, he was number 1 in allowing sacks. No, it wasn't just all his fault. Kirk Cousins held on to the ball, but he's number 1. And the fact that he didn't improve, I know it's the first preseason game. The fact that I seen him getting pushed back again, it just I don't know what to say, y'all. Dalton Reisner, can you please get signed by the Minnesota Vikings? That's all I got to say.
Tony talking about it preseason, calm down. It ain't about that. I'm just looking at the depth on the offensive line. So what happened O'Neal in the center getting injured in the game at the same time? It's over with. Like the offensive line ain't blocked for no quarterbacks, ain't open up no running lanes or nothing.
Right. I'm surprised Ty Chandler did what he did. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said he played
Mike,
good.
Someone said your mic is
a little hot.
That boy might hot. That boy might heat it tonight.
Let me see.
Yeah, but man, that shit was just like, I don't know, man. Like then the Minnesota Vikings bringing in these wide receivers, they trading for wide receivers, but since KOC and Kwesi been here, they ain't bringing in no top offensive linemen to go on the offensive line. They just bringing in weapons. Like we don't need no more weapons, man.
Right.
If anything, bring in a damn quarterback. Right. Kirk Cousins is not a mobile quarterback, and that offensive line against a good defensive line, it's gonna be the same shit we seen last year, man. Cause what did they improve at? We go against the Cowboys, Eagles, and San Fran. It's gonna be the same shit. Like how we did not upgrade the offensive line this whole offseason.
Yeah, it all starts in the trenches. I don't understand why they're not building from the trenches out. I mean, you could have all that high fancy toys, but you
ain't got no motherfucking wheels. That going right. I don't know, man. Like I know it's still preseason. I'm not overhyped, but it's just like the offensive line again. Like damn, like the shit I watched Thursday. I was like, what the hell I'm watching? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I watched a lot of preseason games this past weekend. And I don't care how nobody take it. The Minnesota Vikings looked at raggedy on offense out of all the teams I watched the past weekend. And that's because the offensive line was horrible. Jalen Reagor, the receiver, if that's his name, from the Eagles, like he had a good preseason when they did get him the ball. Cha looked nice.
Yeah.
We know Ja gonna do his thing. Josh Oliver can block, but unless we move Josh Oliver to guard, that shit don't even matter. Shit, can he play guard? No, for real though.
Can he play guard?
Can he play? Hey,
man.
See, this is the thing. Like, I understand it's preseason, but we just getting warmed up for the regular season, and it's just not looking good. I know it's the first preseason game, but like seeing Ed Ingram look that bad already is just like
he ain't know who to block on one play.
It's like, damn. like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we just supposed to just like regular season, first stringers. What is he going to do?
Yeah,
Man, I don't know, man. Like, how you ain't like KOC and Quasi, dog. I'm watching the game from the crib, and I'm seeing the problem on the offensive line. Y'all
Right.
watching films and everything. So how you not think Ed Ingram and Cleveland was a liability on the offensive line? Even though Ed Ingram was a rookie, he might take a leap. But on the back end, you still need some assurance if he don't take a leap. Like, we ain't got no insurance for nobody on the offensive line.
That's the big thing right there.
We
Yeah.
just gonna deal with it.
Yeah. So what was the kryptonite for this whole season last season? It was their offensive line. Of course, the defense. Of course, the defense. We already know the defense was trash, right?
Yeah.
Garbage, whatever you want to call it, right? But Kirk Cousins, if you see the Netflix series, we all can agree the man got his behind whooped every game, it seemed like. And it's because of our guards was our biggest weakness. So we didn't really address that in the offseason. We didn't address it in the draft. And Ed Ingram, the excuse was, oh, he was a rookie. Well, he ain't a rookie no more. And he played his first preseason and it didn't look like he improved in any way. But we shall see against the Titans. We'll see if he does better. Another concern is, why are we looking at running backs right now? Like, why did Kareem Hunt visit the Minnesota Vikings? Why are we looking at him? Of all the running backs, if I'm going to look at a veteran running back, I'm going to look at Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay Dalvin Cook $10 million, but I'd rather pay Dalvin than Kareem Hunt. Dalvin Cook is better than Hunt, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
so,
but you know Hunt gonna be cheaper, but it don't matter who the hell the running. I don't care if you bring Cook back in. It don't even matter if you don't fix the offensive line. Yeah. It's just the whole point that, like, man, what Dave? I want Dave to get in here, man. The one who told me a couple weeks ago they gonna be better after a year. They got
the chemistry
together, all this, and I'm like, bro, that old line is horrible. And what?
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. We're going to see against the Titans, or we're going to see as we get close to the regular season. And if this is still a problem, that's on the GM and that's on them. They didn't adjust. They didn't make no moves to improve it. And we know Kirk Cousins isn't a dual threat quarterback. So we have to make sure he's on point. For him to be where we want him to be, because his name isn't Kirk Cousins to me anymore. His name is First Cousin, and his name is Captain Kirk, because he's the captain of the ship. He's going to get us all the way to the Super Bowl if the offensive line is good.
That's my step. That's our step cousin.
That's my first cousin.
No, that's your step cousin, bro. After the divorce,
hey, what up, D Woods? D Woods is in the building. Hey,
D Woods, what's the deal?
He's a step cousin.
For y'all that don't know,
yeah. When he talking about, and I got two more Viking jerseys you want me to go grab in the back.
Hey, D Woods is those arch nemesis.
But look, though, hey, D Woods though, got me to fix my camera though.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, let me do it like that. Yeah, man, but the shit I seen though, bro, that shit was horrible, man. Like I said in my video when I was talking about my thoughts on the preseason game, the Vikings' downfall this year, it won't be the defense. It's gonna be the offensive line.
It won't.
It's gonna be the offensive line, man. For real.
Man, I don't think so.
It's gonna be the offensive line. They can't block nobody for real.
Yeah.
So all you got to do on the Minnesota Vikings for real, and everybody gonna peep it. Send the blitz up the middle. They can't block people. And Kirk Cousins gonna panic and throw the ball out of bounds or throw a crazy interception. Everybody gonna be blitzing the Minnesota Vikings right up the gut on third downs. Watch what I tell you.
Hey, Samuel, we ain't worried about the NFC North.
No, I'm talking the big picture.
We just talking our talk.
No, I'm talking the big picture, Chris. Like,
we talking big picture.
Oh, is that the Lions fan?
Yeah,
no, that's the Packers
fan.
That's the Packers. Hey, I'm not. We definitely ain't worried about the Packers.
No, I'm talking the big picture. I'm talking about a playoff run.
We're talking about Super Bowl. Period. Yeah. That's all we want to do. We want to win a Super Bowl. We ain't worried about the NFC North all like that. We're going to win the NFC North, but we want the dang on Super Bowl.
That fluke ass Super Bowl Green Bay won. Aaron Rodgers' first year as a quarterback. They ain't been back to one.
You know what? And Yeah, that was. But let's talk about some positive stuff about the defense. What's your opinion about Ivan Pace Jr.? Like,
Oh,
what is your
go
honest
ahead,
opinion?
Yogi.
What?
He's got
Yeah,
that
go ahead. Oh,
dog in him. He's got that.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
We've been pace gang all the way,
that
man. I predicted we were gonna draft him in the 4th round, or when I was doing my
right.
mocks, I was always picking him in the 4th round. I was surprised he didn't go undrafted. I'm surprised that we were able to get him.
Yeah,
Apparently, the
Right.
Titans wanted him as well, but we just offered more money, and he came with us.
he looked good though. Ivan Pace
Right.
looked good. I ain't really see the dude even play Brian Smoke. What his damn name is?
Osmo?
Yeah,
Asamoah.
No, he
yeah.
didn't.
Like
No,
I ain't like, but
Is he
to
hurt?
me, no, he probably just ain't. I don't know.
He just ain't play.
he's probably going to be
Yeah,
a starter.
like
Yeah. Right.
the defensive line to me for real, they was like they slowed the
What up,
run up.
Sarah? What up, Sarah?
What's going on, Sarah? Like the D
They're up.
line, they slowed the run up with putting pressure on the quarterbacks. The D line looked better than the secondary did. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Right.
And Booth, oh my God! Like I said before, he need to go in the booth and just call the plays for the Minnesota Vikings at this point. Because what
Yeah.
is Booth doing? Then Lewis seen. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't care how nobody feel. People talking about it's only year 2. Lewis Seen is a bust. In year 2 in the NFL playing safety, bro, you should not be playing like the way he playing. You playing safety. Ain't like you playing corner or quarterback. You a
Right.
safety, bro. I expect more for Lewis Seen in year 2 as the Minnesota Vikings. Then it goes back to Quasey, like I told y'all last night, man. Do they even know how to draft?
Right, because we could have had Kyle Hamilton at pick 12, but no, we wanted
Right.
to get all fancy and cute,
Trade down.
back and blah 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 blah.
I hate trading back, man. We got to get out that mindset. If we ain't trading up, we ain't trading back, unless it's a crazy deal. I'm tired of trading back, man.
I'm saying I would trade back if I had like 2 or 3 picks in that same round. I would,
but we haven't had that, and it's like we trade down.
No, I'm just saying, like I would if I had 2 or 3 picks, but we didn't get no first round pick with that trade we did with the Lions,
Right.
and we gave them a draft pick or some crazy shit.
It don't make no sense.
Like what what are we doing? What are
And
Quasey and them doing?
Analytics.
Man, that shit ain't working. I can
work.
draft better. I can draft better than them.
R.A.P.
Right. For going back to Ivan Pace Jr., I like what I seen. It seemed like he was always around the ball. He put pressure on the quarterback. I like what I seen, and I love his aggression. I actually think that overall the defense, Brian Flores, you can tell there's a different energy in the building. What's his name? Mekhi Blackman. He had a couple of good plays that I've noticed. I love his game. He might mess up a play, but then he'll come back right and have confidence and do his thing. So I like Mekhi Blackman a lot. That was a good pickup in the 3rd round. I seen Jay Ward. Jay Ward did some things. But overall, I just like the atmosphere. It's not playing off of the wide receivers 10 yards, and I'm just liking that aggression. I'm tired of that soft behind defense, man. When they was tackling, they was gang tackling. I just like that. The only question I have about Ivan Pace Jr. is I'm not saying he's going to be on the level of Eric Kendricks when it comes to covering, but can he cover a little bit? I know he's more of because you can't always just go after the running back and the quarterback. Can he cover a little bit? Because that's the one thing offenses go after. They go after the linebackers that can't cover before they go after the corners and the safety. So, what's your opinion? Do you think he can cover? Did you notice him covering at all? I didn't see any.
There was one play where I couldn't tell if it was him or Seen that messed up, but
I think
he is going to have to work on some coverage. But
right,
but
because that's the only thing I can think of. Like everything else, I'm like, yo, this dude, he mess around. He gonna end up taking someone's job. I've been saying that lately. He's gonna take someone's job.
So I'm predicting he's going to take Hicks' job by week 3.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, but shit, like it depends on what coverage they call on defense. Because if not, you probably could put Pace in on certain down when you probably think they're gonna run the football for real. Because he ain't shit, but what, 5'10"?
What up, Dante? Dante in the building, East Coast.
What it do? What it do? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I ain't really see him cover a lot. Though. I see.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I have a question. I want to see him cover, but other than that, man, his
motor,
his energy, his motor, right? It's just nonstop. He might not be the biggest linebacker, but he plays like the biggest linebacker. That's what I like, and that's what I like about Brian Flores. It's not about where you got drafted at; it's who can play the best. It doesn't matter if he wasn't drafted, if he was a 6th-round pick. If you can play, Brian Flores is going to be like, you playing. So that's what I like. That's what I respect about Brian Flores. So it's going to be a good. I'm happy about this this coaching change, definitely. And it's just the only thing I have the biggest worry about this year, and I hope Ed Ingram can get better, is that offensive line. That's the only worry. Like, I think our defense is going to be pretty good. It's going to be way better than last season. It's just that offensive line, y'all. And then the running game, right? Why are they looking at Kareem Hunt? Is there another injury that we don't know about? Like, what's going on with that?
They don't know the fuck they doing. Shit, I could tell
like,
you
why?
Shit.
I want to see.
I don't know. Like, shit. Like I seen a rookie get the ball, Dwayne McBride. but every time he got the ball, shit, somebody was in his face soon he got the ball.
And that's right.
And that's why I was on team draft Mo Ibrahim from Minnesota Gophers. Hey, Dante's in the building. That's his running back too. But we went with McBride, but I was all about Mo Ibrahim from Minnesota.
Right.
And sure as shit, McBride, as Tony Bell just said, McBride might not even make the team. But yeah.
Look, the shit that had me lost though. The Vikings ain't even draft no damn offensive lineman this past draft. I'm like, how the hell you don't draft no offensive lineman in this year draft? You could lead to somebody in the 7th round. You ain't draft nobody. I'm like,
and you know another thing, like going to the running backs, it's like Ty Chandler showed me a lot. For him he didn't run like for 100 freaking yards or whatever, but the way he was bouncing off the tackles, is just like catching the ball. He was picking up blitz. It was just like everything. He was blocking. He did a lot. He showed a lot. And I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be the 1st-string running back because I think Madison definitely is going to be that. But he's definitely 2nd string. He showed me a lot. I hope they give him a chance. I hope they really give him a chance this year because he showed a lot for him to catch and all that. Like, he does everything.
Hey, what up, Chris? Hey, we also got Ron's opinion don't matter. Hey, Ron, if you're a Steeler fan,
that's my homie,
bruh. I
got sorry for you,
man. I want Alex Highsmith so freaking bad, but
I'm from PA, so I get it all the time, man. The Eagle fans and the Steeler fans, they just.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, we got Justin Day in the building.
Tony had Rabbit ears. He knew I was get up in here too, huh?
and we got Tony Bell from Tony
What's
Takes.
up with y'all, man?
What's going on?
What up, my guys?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
we hear you good.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Don't start, dude. Do not start.
What you say, bro? What you say, Zoe? You got to say something?
Mike. They say you need to back up from the mic or something.
Oh, it's my mic?
Yeah. Or you need to turn the gain down a little bit because you coming in like, oh, sure. You coming in a little hot.
Yeah,
we know you mad today, but
how's it sound? Is it better?
That's getting a bit, but that's better. Yeah. Go a little bit more though.
Hold on, know what I'm gonna do?
Shout out Sarah. Ron's opinion don't matter meets my worthless opinion. I like that. There you go. That's good one, Sarah.
So
what up, though? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
So what was your guys' overall impression of the first preseason game? I know you guys said, oh, it's just preseason.
No, I said it's just preseason. I'm not gonna start freaking out till probably next week.
After the Titans?
Shit, you do.
Yeah. It's the first game of the year. I'll give him a pass. But I did see a lot of things that were cause for concern. I'm just being
Absolutely.
honest.
Like where?
Offensive line.
Man, that old line was horrible, wasn't it?
Like, listen, my dude.
Hey, Tony. Man.
Yeah,
the Vikings probably had the worst offensive line play I've seen the whole preseason.
And here's my question about the offensive line. It's personnel. A lot of it is personnel.
Yeah.
Where does coaching get the blame? Because they need to get some blame. And there's 2 offensive line coaches.
Bring back Mike Tice.
Something's getting lost in translation. I'd love to have Tice back, but he won't come back after what the Wilfs did.
No, of course not.
He won't.
Mike, you're fired by this piece of paper that you got in your hands before we even talked to you.
Oh, and by the way, Mike Tice brought that on himself because Mike Tice was the snitch to McCombs when McCombs and Denny Green stopped talking. The snitch that told McCombs everything was Mike Tice, which is why Mike Tice got the head coaching job when he got it.
Well, he got that job for that and because he was dirt cheap. And
McCombs didn't want to pay nobody.
So here's the thing. He bought the team in 98 and he purple pride. And once he realized he was not going to get a stadium done, he just stopped putting money into that team at all.
Well, from what I had a friend that worked out there, and he said every day he threatened to move the team to San Antonio. Every day.
Every day.
Hey, quick shout out. We got D Woods in the building too.
What's up, D Woods?
What's up, D Woods?
Hey,
what's up, fellas? How y'all doing today, man?
Deal, my guy. Be sure to check Skull's State of Mind on YouTube and like and subscribe his channel. And we got Purple and Gold for Days, Mike Sports Vibes, and In the Zone podcast. So I'm gonna start getting their channels and post them in the.
Hey, real quick. I know there's 3 people in the chat right now don't subscribe. I'm 3 away from 700. So who hit me up real quick. Let me get to 700. I ain't proud to beg.
I got a question for everybody. Is it time to give up on the booth experiment?
Yes.
It's been time.
No.
Nah, we can't give up on them yet, man.
Okay, here's my stance on it. I'll just I'll be real quick on it.
Go ahead.
Last year when they drafted him, I'm just like, okay, first round talent. There's a reason he's available. Let's take a chance. Okay, fine. And then he got hurt like right away last year. And then this summer, I've said the whole time, I said, do not expect anything from Booth Jr. And if you get any kind of production from him, that's found money. Okay? Because if you expect anything from him, you are going to be disappointed. And listen, I'm not trying to begrudge him. I'm not trying to hate on him. I wish him nothing but the best. I want it to work out. Obviously, he plays for my team, so I want him to be able to contribute. But at this point in time, the guy, 5 minutes after he's drafted, I've been healthy since high school. Okay,
that's a few red flags.
Yeah,
like that ain't good.
That's a few red flags.
Right off the bat, when he got hurt again, I said, you know what? I hope he manages to kick the injury bug, but he has shown and demonstrated that it's just probably not going to happen. It's just probably not in the cards. So I'm not saying cut the guy. What I'm saying is at this point, my expectation level is 0.
You might you might be able to get some trade value for him. He's only in the second
if you
year.
can get it, if you can like a 4?
Like what?
Like probably a 4.
If you can get a 4 for him right now,
you ain't getting no 4 for him.
Ain't nobody gonna trade for his ass.
I ain't trying to be negative, but I don't see that, man.
There's no team is as gullible as a Viking front office when it comes to trades.
Right.
Let's just be honest. And it's even worse now because we got football. We got people running the football that know nothing about football. So
right. And you've said that quite a few times. But to get back to the Tyson McCombs thing, once he knew he wasn't getting a stadium, he let Denny Green go because it was time.
Well, no. Denny quit. Denny quit.
He did?
Denny quit. Denny resigned. He wasn't fired. He resigned. He didn't quit. He was going to fire him, and Denny took that power away from McCombs and quit. You're not going to fire me. I quit.
Either way, the point is that he just hired Tice because I got an offensive line coach that's not going to say no to a head coaching job. So you promoted. You didn't even bring in an offensive or defensive coordinator. You elevated an offensive line coach.
Yeah, that's right. I forget his name.
For whatever we want to say about Mike Tice, about how mediocre he was. I mean, he's 32-32 as a head coach.
He had nothing to work with.
He had nothing to work. Oh, he had Dante and Randy. Okay, that's 2 guys. You got 51 others, and there was a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah.
Outside of Antoine Winfield, they didn't sign a free agent worth a darn.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
During the Red McCombs era. I mean, look at what happened as soon as the Wilfs got here in 2005. They signed Pat Williams. And a couple of other guys before
they got Hutchinson. They got Hutchinson.
Where he come from?
He came from Seattle. He just got. He had just played in the Super Bowl. And he came to Seattle.
Poison pill deal.
The poison pill. Yes.
Poison pill.
Yeah.
Yep. The poison pill. And so he.
But there was no way on God's green earth. Say what we've Tony, and you're with me on this. We said our piece about how the Wills run this team.
Yes.
And how they're trying to maximize profits, I guess is the word to say it. But I will at least say they spend the money. Okay. They spend the money on free agents. They spend the money on TCO. Yes, they got a subsidy from the state of Minnesota to build the stadium, but they've sunk a lot of money into this team.
Oh, by the way,
Red McCombs never did.
That stadium will be paid off probably next month.
Yeah. Think about that.
That stadium's going to be paid off. 23 years ahead of schedule.
Think about that.
So they're running out of excuses to put some kind of product on the field to bring us a championship.
Right.
And I'm going to hold them to it. Been a fan 50 plus years, and you doing this? I ain't got much time left on this earth. I want to
talk that talk, Tony. Talk that talk.
Back to your question about the
you need the Super Bowl first, man.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about Thursday, D Woods?
Yeah, go ahead, Woods.
I mean, it's preseason. It is what it is. I can't get too high. I can't get too low on it. You know, we know the starter's not going to play, and it's a big evaluation game. So I'm just saying, like, that's the starting point. I want to see what they can do, if they can build, you know, from that and actually get a lot better. Like, I'm just not going to be too wild about it. It's preseason, you know.
I got a question
for these Bears fans trying to talk up Justin Fields, threw the ball 7 yards past the line of scrimmage and got 129 yards and a couple touchdowns. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
How many times the Raiders won every preseason game and went to the season and didn't do nothing?
How many times did Detroit win every preseason game and then lose every regular season game?
Y'all already talking about the Lions. I know Zoe know about them Lions doing that.
Hey, shout out real quick to VAQ Embrace the Suck. Lifelong Giants fans on the Vikings.
I do have a question for everybody. Did everybody notice Jalen Hall came in, he looked pretty good. Then all of a sudden, it's like KLC got in his ear and he started looking hesitant. Was that just me, or was it?
He looked a little frazzled after that.
Yeah,
you're right.
He looked a little hesitant.
It was something different.
Yeah,
and that O-line was terrible for him. I mean, my boy Mike was just like, "Oh, Jaren Hall looked terrible." I'm like, "Did you see?" I mean, again,
that offensive line
but that line didn't do anything for him.
How can you do anything with that?
That offensive line is just.
So my sources told me. So KOC was telling them, "Hey, our O-line sucks. Just scramble. If you got to throw it away, throw it away." That's what the sources are telling me.
But his first third down throw, he completed it for a first down.
Yeah,
and then he had that jump ball to what's that new wide receiver? I know.
And Kill Harry.
That was a heck of a throw.
Yeah,
it looked nice. That throw was nice.
The rest of it was just like. But Tony, you remember 1999 when we drafted Dante and he was the third string and he went in after Randall and Jeff George behind the third string O-line and he looked terrible because he had nobody.
God.
That's exactly what that reminded me of. I'm just like, I'm not going to say Jaren Hall's on his way to being Dante, but what I'm saying is Dante looked bad behind an offensive line.
I think Dante in his first 2 preseason games, he played the Giants in Cleveland. Yes. I think he completed 1 pass and got sacked like 10 times.
Yes.
It was bad. It was bad. I was like, God, I hope we don't lose Cunningham or George, because if it's Culpepper, we're screwed.
Hey, why we lose Cunningham? What happened? I don't remember what happened.
Cunningham got benched. He lost the job. He got benched.
Honestly, though, Tony, he lost it about. Okay, sorry to bring up old wounds, ladies and gentlemen, but when he got hit right before halftime in that Atlanta game where he lost the ball and Atlanta scored a touchdown on the next play.
Yeah, he was never the same. He's never the same.
That was the moment that Cunning got it. I say
psychologically.
He turned into Kirk Cousins before KOC. It was all in his head after that. And even in the next season, he had nothing. He got benched in the middle of the Detroit Lions game, and he was never the same after that.
Never the same.
Never the same.
Yeah, yeah. And Denny was quick to bench quarterbacks too. He was really quick to bench quarterbacks.
He wasn't quick to bench Randall because that was game 6.
He stayed loyal to Randall for some reason.
Right. Oh, I think we know the reason, brother. I think we know the reason.
Yeah, we do. We
all here. Let's just call it for what it is. But
and I give Denny credit for that. But you got to pull the plug eventually, good or bad.
No, in fact, he wasn't going to pull Randall. The story is that Randall went up to him and said, "I can't do it. You got to take me out." So Denny didn't even bench him. Randall tapped out in that Detroit game. They were down 19-0, and Randall
I remember.
Tapped out.
Well,
Randall tapped out
from the start. I'm not sure if Denny liked Jeff George. Did he?
No.
I didn't think so.
He tolerated him, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think that was a Wood signing or whoever was a GM then, but he didn't want Jeff George.
Hey, but look, how on a scale from 1 to 10, what are y'all concern level with Ed Ingram? Because he not no
20.
backup.
30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
I'm not concerned at all. I'm not concerned at all.
Okay, Mike, you talk your talk.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'd love
to hear this one, Mike. Go ahead.
I want to hear what D Woods got to say.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm joking.
Go ahead, Mike.
I've been talking that talk about Ed Ingram. I've been said when we picked up Bobby, what's his name? Bobby Evans. I said this don't make no dang no sense. We got the number 1 in allowed sacks, and now we got the number 2 in allowed sacks. We got to get him off the team. I don't know what's going on. We didn't make no upgrades or nothing. He looked terrible.
Yeah, not only that, you re-signed Bradbury.
That was dumb.
So how are you going to say dumb. 1? How are you going to say
no, 1? I was joking, Justin.
Okay.
I'm at a 50. Y'all late to the party. I've been said he ain't. But this, what my boy Dave said, chemistry.
Dave back. Tell Dave.
Chemistry. He said chemistry.
Yeah.
He said if the O-line has chemistry, they're going to be fine. So we're going to see what happens.
They'd be fine. He said they'd be so. He said that you. He said, "Well, it's the whole. If our defense can just be average, we'll be fine. If our O-line can just be average, we'll be fine." I'm like, yes, that will get you through a 17-game regular season and you'll win 10, 11 games. But it's about when you get to the playoffs and you're hosting a Dallas, you're hosting a Detroit, you're hosting a Seattle. You're going to be in a dogfight. And if you win that dogfight, you're going to go to San Francisco or Philly, and then you're going to get killed. So who cares about being just okay?
I always say, and I want KOC to do this. He's got to figure it out. Offensive linemen love to run the ball. They play better going forward than they do backwards. Start running the damn ball. Forget the trend in the NFL where everything is pass.
No, the trend is
go old school. You're going to have to. That's the only thing that will give your offense that. They will get that. They will get that confidence, and they'll be like, you know what? We may not can pass, but we sure can run on these moles.
Thank you.
It's not rocket science. It really isn't. I mean,
but KOC be getting too cute though. That's the thing though.
KOC is too cute. He is
right
too
now.
Cute.
You know, we get it, but KOC go out there. You know, 4th and 2, he doing the quarterback sneak, or he trying to do a jump pass in the red zone with Dalvin Cook. Like
that one was so bad.
That was
that was terrible. I don't know what he was.
So I got a question for
but to
y'all,
answer your question sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
How long we got before we start blaming KLC for bad play calling, or are we already there?
He might get a pass this year because of what he did last year. He might get a pass this year for what he did last year, which is the problem. He was successful last year, so he's going to get quite the but he had the good year. He can have one off year. That's what a lot of fans are going to do.
Right. That's what they did with Zimmer. It was every other year. It was every other year. And it wasn't until Zimmer had 2 bad years that they finally cut him.
Yeah.
To answer your question from earlier, Tony, about at what point do we start blaming the coaching versus the personnel? I like to harpen back as to how did we get here. Okay, when Zimmer was hired, we had a bad team. Obviously, 5-11-1.
5-11-1, yeah.
And then we started drafting all these defensive players, and we drafted Teddy Bridgewater. And then slowly, we kept getting better and better. And guess what? We had a lot of young players that weren't making a lot of money. We had all kinds of salary cap room. We were very fiscally responsible with our salary cap. We didn't have $30 million in dead money every year.
That's how we was able to get Kirk in 18.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey,
Good point, Justin.
Justin, I got a question. I got a question for all of you that have paid attention. Have you noticed up until 2015, everything was cool, everything was fine. As soon as Teddy got hurt, it's like the wheels came off. The wheels came off.
That was his guy. A first-round pick. Well, that too, Mike. You're very, very right. They traded a first-round pick for Sam Bradford. Now, Sam Bradford made $12 million that year. Now, $12 million now sounds like a steal, but back in 2016, $12 million is the same thing as about
big money. Yeah.
About what 32 is right now. But the point is, the Vikings absorbed it like that because they had all kinds of room. Now, after 17. They said, we think we're a quarterback away. We've built this team for the last 3 years, building it the right way. Well, guess what you did that year in 2018? You gave Diggs money. You gave Thielen money. You gave Cousins money. And so all of a sudden, that team that you had built for 3 years on rookie contracts and signed other players, in 2017, they signed Latavius Murray before they even drafted Dalvin Cook. Because why? Because you needed depth. You signed Case Keenum to $2 million because you could. Think of the roster depth that this team had back in 2017. Now, in 2018, we got to pay these guys that we already have. We got to pay Kirk Cousins. We got to pay Sheldon Richardson. We got to save money to pay Anthony Barr because, well, we got to keep Anthony Barr for crying out loud.
For some reason, why?
Well, every coach
was Jimmer's first pick. That's
every coach with their first pick wants to keep them with them as long as they're with the team. He didn't want to get rid of Teddy.
No, that's like the girl you pop your cherry with. There's always going to be something in the back of your mind. Remember that first one. Okay, that's well and good. But my point is this.
Don't get me on that one there, Justin, because it might have been the first one, but yeah, I'm glad I'm not with them.
Right.
You know, I usually have good analogies. Apparently, Tony didn't like that one, but
I like that one. I like that one, Justin.
But my point is that since 2018 and 2019, remember Anthony Barr was out the door. He was going to sign with the Jets, and then he came back.
He had a change of heart.
He had a change of heart.
And guess what?
Last minute.
And then the year after that, they signed Dalvin Cook to his contract. And then we wonder why we're always bargain bin shopping for free agents. And we wonder why our offensive line, particularly on the interior, is always so weak. It's because guess what? Offensive linemen, unless they're like elite tackles, you got to give the interior guys 2 or 3 years to develop. But we've been in this win now mode of we spent all of this money the last 5 years that we don't want to be patient with interior offensive linemen. Well, if that's the case, you have to sign one. But we can't sign one because we don't have any money.
And no money. And that's why we didn't get Dalton Reisner, because we probably can't.
They could get Reisner if they
Reisner is still out there.
For what? Why though?
I think. Well, from what I understood, the two things, like I think Justin, you said it. He wasn't guaranteed the left guard spot to be a starter, and so I think he's keeping his options open. He'll be playing left guard for somebody.
All I know is
he's gonna keep his options open, and he waiting for somebody to get hurt, just like Dalvin Cook waiting for somebody to get hurt so he can get a job.
I guarantee you this: his agent called the Vikings after Thursday night and they're like, "I'm sorry." Well,
okay, I did.
You know what I guarantee, my guy.
Last night,
we're gonna beat the Eagles, bro. We're gonna beat the Eagles, Justin.
I just want to say, yesterday I met a couple of former Vikings, Ed White and Chuck Foreman.
Yeah,
I actually did ask Ed White, could he come back and play left guard for the Vikings? Because he used to play left guard. He said, no, I don't miss football. But we talked about it. It's like, I don't know. And he brought up coaching. You know, they played together long enough, but where is the...
I think some of it is coaching. So I'm not going to say it's like everything else. It's always a combination of multiple things. But at some point, you know, when remember when we had Dakota Dozier and Drew Samia, what coach was going to coach those fools up?
Yeah.
And you know what?
And
Drew Samia came out of college he came out with these really high, like he's going to be a great guard.
Yeah.
I'm like, and where does he end up with the Jets?
And by the way, we're not going to go down this road too much because I know, particularly with Zoe, we could go on for an hour and a half about it. But at some point, you have to acknowledge, even if you are if you're Rick Sosa and Joe Espinoza, that are the biggest Kirk jerkers out there.
Oh, them too. Yeah.
At some point, you have to acknowledge that, Washington couldn't find any guards or centers to protect Kirk Cousins. And now after 5 years with the Vikings, they can't either. What's the common denominator here? That you have a statue quarterback that unless you're going to put the Dallas Cowboys from the mid-90s offensive line in front of him, you know how some quarterbacks make their offensive line look better? Well, some make them look worse. Now, I'm not here saying that these guys are actually better than what we've seen, but when you put together the fact that this team does not have any money to spend on free agent guards, when you put together that with Kirk Cousins just is what he is as a pocket passer. Yeah, well, if you protect Kirk, he's great. At some point, it's the NFL. You're not always going to have perfection.
Hey, it's not going to be perfect all the time.
Justin,
you got to make up for it, man.
I want to give you guys this question here. Do you know what it was? This was before we got Darrisaw.
Mm-hmm.
There was a left tackle, prominent all-pro left tackle, would not play with the Vikings because they had Kirk Cousins.
Say that again?
You talking about my man?
There was a prominent left tackle that would not play with the Vikings because Kirk Cousins was the quarterback.
You talking about Andre Wentworth, who went to L.A.?
No, I'm talking about Trent Williams.
Oh, Trent Williams. Well, he played in Washington.
He was in Washington. He did not want to come to Minnesota because he did not want to play with him.
I ain't got nothing to say about Kirk Cousins.
Yo, he first cousin for me.
I've said enough about Kirk Cousins. Everybody knows how I feel about him, so I'm not going to keep rehashing it.
Yeah,
he captained Kirk to the Super Bowl.
But
that's what's frustrating about it is for everything that we said, and we have harped on his weaknesses. We all acknowledge his strengths,
right?
And if you had a checklist of 20 things that you would want from your quarterback, he checks off 16 or 17 of them. But the 3 that he doesn't are the ones that are the most meaningful and that move the needle the most.
The 3 he doesn't are glaring. They're glaring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 3 that
especially
he
with this offensive line.
Exactly. I got into it with SK last week when we were talking about Cousins versus Jalen Hurts, and he put Cousins ahead of Jalen Hurts.
That.
I remember listening to that, and I was like,
but to his
really?
One of the points I didn't get to was his point was, well, if you put Kirk Cousins behind Philly's offensive line, he would be great. I'm like, don't you think that putting Jalen Hurts behind our offensive line would kind of make some difference too?
You're like, what the fuck? Like Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, mobility. If you're gonna play for the Vikings behind this offensive line, you need to be mobile.
So, hey, can I ask y'all this though?
Yeah, what you got?
So why we didn't draft DTR though? If they know NXT, we need a mobile quarterback though.
I don't know, man.
Like I'm scratching my head. Like,
hey, I was stumping for Anthony Richardson, and then I said, don't you dare draft Will Levis. And if you're gonna not draft a quarterback in the first round, and get DTR in the third.
Like,
I don't care.
Good.
I don't care that you took a wide receiver in the first round and you didn't have your second round. Take DTR in the third. I preach. Go watch all my videos. I said it a million times.
I feel you,
man. We strike out right there.
I watched the DTR play. I don't care what y'all say about the O-line or whatever. DTR look better than Jared Hall.
Yeah.
The coaches got in the Jalen Hall's head. They got into his head, and when they told him to just throw the ball away.
Why would they do that? Why would they put the handcuffs on him like that?
Well, could be to not scare you know who.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
I kid you. Dude, why do you think we kept Mannion for the last how many years?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And that's why I'm cheering for Jaron Hall, because I want some type of competition.
They put the handcuffs on Jaron Hall in a preseason game because they didn't want him to look too good to make Kirk feel uncomfortable.
I hope that ain't true.
It doesn't take much to get this fan base to start talking. Anything's possible.
Who's the one quarterback that we was talking about? Oh, they got rid of him. He was behind Kirk for a year or two.
Kyle Sloter.
Yes, and they got rid of him. He showed a little bit of something in preseason, and we just
him.
Slaughter got the knock that he was a terrible practice quarterback.
Yeah, he got the Zimmer. He got the Zimmer treatment.
He got the.
I've seen enough with Mond though. With Kellen Mond, he really disrespected him.
Kellen Mond look horrible right now. Kellen Mond look horrible. DTR look way better than Kellen Mond.
Oh man!
And I don't care what anybody says. If you look at my TV screen right now, I got the Jets Carolina Panthers game on pause, so I can watch Matt Corral. And
how he looking?
I don't.
How
know
was he
yet.
looking? Oh no.
Okay. Oh, let me make this announcement, Yogi, when you're ready. By the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
JJ Vikings will be on my channel on Monday, the 20. What is that? The 28th, the last Monday in August. That's the Monday after the Arizona game. JJ Vikings will be on my channel on my 8:00 show. He's gonna come on around 8:30. So if y'all don't subscribe to JJ Vikings, y'all hit up that young man. He's 12 years old and he's rocking with this crew, and he's just killing it right now.
Everybody tap in with nephew.
Yeah, yes, nephew. That's right. We'll just call him nephew from now on. We don't call him JJ. I don't even know what the kid's name is. If I'm being honest,
He Neff.
Yogi, what is the boy's
nephew.
name?
Just call him nephew.
AJ,
and he knows his football too.
Yeah, he does.
He be talking. I'm
like, if y'all didn't see it on after the show or tomorrow morning, go to Rap's channel. He threw it down. Well, actually, go to JJ's channel and watch it on that one. Let's get him some more.
Get his views up. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he'll be on my show on the 28th at about 8:30. I told him I'm gonna start the show. I'm gonna do about a half an hour my review of the game and my experience meeting Yogi, and I told him come on about 8:30. So he's gonna be on my channel.
Hey, Justin, are you gonna be at the Arizona game?
Yes, I'm gonna be at there. I'm gonna be at the. And by the way, Yogi, where are seats at for that game? By the way,
I can look
look
it up.
into it.
I have to look for you guys because I'll be at the game.
Oh, you're gonna be there? All right, cool. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Don't get too crazy as I'm bringing.
I think we're in section 323.
323. Yeah, I like that side.
It's like 323 or 333.
Is that upper level?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's on the Viking side. It's on the Viking side.
I got lower level in the end zone.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's a preseason game, so it ain't like we're not gonna have some time.
Exactly.
I got my daughter there, so you might have to come find us, but we'll figure it out.
I'll look for you.
And how the preseason game go in Minnesota? Y'all sit at the assigned seats?
Every game.
I got these tickets from a friend of mine, so that's why I'm going. They're expensive. I'm just gonna put that out there now. They're expensive.
Well, preseason games?
They all count the same.
They're all the same price.
For real?
Yeah, they're all the same price.
Charge the same amount for preseason games.
What was you?
Wow.
What was you thinking? $20 discount tickets up in the rafters?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I paid $10 to go to the Lions games.
It's the Lions, dude. Go figure.
He said $10.
I ain't lie. You get a ticket for $20.
What?
You said 323. You said 323.
They need to give them tickets away.
Nah, you find it.
That's crazy.
Lions did though sell out they sold out their games this year.
Congratulations. Welcome to 1998.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
I can't wait to shut them up, man.
So a preseason game be costing hundreds of dollars?
Yeah, it's the same price as a regular season game.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's the NFL, dude.
You want to buy a season ticket package, you have to buy all 10. You don't get to just buy the 8 regular seasons. You buy the regular season plus the preseason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And depending on the extra game, like the 17th game, depending on where you're playing, you might only have one preseason game that's at home.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm at that Lions and Vikings game here, week 18. Oh, man.
Oh, Jared Hall be playing that game because I'm
like to paint my face that game.
Dan Campbell might not even have a job by then. Dan Campbell, he might be fired by then.
They love Dan Campbell bum ass.
Hey, Sarah put me on to this podcast, this daily podcast by this Lions guy, and he has Bears.
What's his name?
Sarah, put it in the chat. What's that guy's name?
You talking about Detroit Lions Syndicate?
I'll find it. But yeah, I think so.
He black got a bald head?
No. He white got a bald head. if we gonna be like that, I mean,
Oh no. Come on, say Detroit Lions Syndicate. That's my guy. I be fucking with him on the
no,
internet.
it's not your guy. It's a different guy. I'll find it.
No,
But anyway, they are
323
talking
rows 7 and 8.
323. Okay. Yep. That's not off. That's not far off the end zone. Are you on which side are you on, Tony?
I am on as soon as you get in. As soon as you get in the doors, my seats are right there.
Tony probably got some good seats.
They're pretty good seats. Yeah.
I already know. I could tell. Tony got some VIP seats.
I'm in 142.
Oh, you on the opposite side, but that's all right. We'll still
aisle seats also, so I can get the hell out of there. Just
hey,
honestly,
ask y'all.
Yeah, what's up,
Justin and Tony? So who looked good in the preseason game in the yard though?
Besides Ivan Pace Jr.
and Ivan Pace
Todd
Jr.
Chandler.
Chandler did. Chandler, I'd almost start Chandler.
Man, he looked good.
He impressed me a lot with that offensive line, and then blocking and catching the ball. He did everything.
Okay, now I'm going to bring this up to you guys. Put on your coaching caps. You want to run the ball, right? Give this offensive line some confidence. Why don't you put Chandler in the backfield with Madison?
You could do that.
Chandler in the backfield.
Why don't they?
They never have since KOC
It's new
been
yet.
here.
It's new.
Damn, they didn't even do that with Zimmer. Like, rarely did they have Cook and Madison back.
They never put Chester in the same backfield with AP, and I never understood that. That would have been
Chester Tate.
That would have been
that was my guy.
That was my guy too. I was like, yo, and then
where did he go after he left Minnesota?
Chester went to Chicago.
He ain't do shit in Chicago, did he?
No, he didn't.
Then that was my guy.
But I'm just bringing that up because you put them both back there. It makes a defense. You can't key on anybody. But you sent them both. One has speed, one has power. Wear down that defense. Old school football. And it'll give your offensive line some confidence. And play action works with it too.
Right.
You know,
how y'all like Jalen Reagor?
Well, he was playing backup, so he should look good.
Yeah,
he looked good. He looked good. He might be the third wide receiver.
Well, he looks like his job is in jeopardy.
He might get cut.
He looks. Yeah. Now here's my question: where's Jalen Naylor?
Huh?
He's been hurt. He's been hurt, hasn't he?
Shit, he might get cut.
No, that's Keenan. That's Keenan's guy. That's McCardell's guy is Naylor, but he can't stay healthy either.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, for a team that we've had a lot of injuries with that last year's rookie class, a lot, and I don't know what that's about.
Hey Tony, I was telling Mike and Yogi, man, I don't think this front office know how to draft, man.
Do we need to go through this again?
No. You ain't gotta go deep. I'm just saying in general though, like they don't know what they doing though. Cause Lewis Cine is a bust.
Well, he's not a bust yet.
He's not a bust yet.
He ought to be a bust.
I'll say it goes back to when you were talking about. I said this in my recap video on Friday. I said I have my concerns about Lewis Cine, but at the same time, the safety room is pretty deep. He is coming off a horrific injury, and it's not his fault that his general manager drafted him in the first round. It's not his fault that his general manager looked like a fool with not getting as much value in return for the trade he made. And it's not his fault that somebody else in the league, and Kyle Hamilton, looked pretty good in a different system. Because two things with that. Those things we as fans say, Lewis Cine was our first pick ever from Kwesi, and we traded down because that was our guy. That's not Lewis Cine's fault, number one. What is it, the Jetsons, or what is that?
Oh, that's my phone.
Oh, it
was the Jetsons. It was the Jetsons. What's going on here? That's my girl. That's my girl hit me up.
Oh man.
Ooh, that late night text.
Ain't nothing wrong. Hey,
you
ain't
still
nothing wrong
up?
with that.
You up?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
She lives in California and she's a Falcons fan, so she kind of feels my pain as far as being a Viking fan.
I'm gonna touch on this, Yogi. Yogi, you said this earlier, and Ramp wasn't interested in reading any of my chats tonight on your show earlier, but I will say this: the Kyle Hamilton talk needs to stop. It needs to stop for this reason only. Kyle Hamilton, in the Ed Donatell defense would not look like what Kyle Hamilton did in Baltimore. So we don't know if we had drafted Kyle Hamilton what he would or wouldn't be. Just because he looked good somewhere else, he would not have looked good with us last year. We all acknowledge that.
Right.
Okay.
But we would have had him. And
that's true, though. That's a good point.
But what I was saying is you would be like, hey, our starting safeties would be Harrison Smith and Kyle Hamilton. We don't know what Kyle Hamilton would be starting or not because we wouldn't know what we have in the guy.
There is one thing, though. There is one thing, Justin. You can blame Scene for not putting his head in the playbook.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's his biggest problem. He hasn't put his head in the playbook.
He looked lost. He definitely looked lost. But,
yeah, it's. I don't know what he did at Georgia. He probably freelanced at Georgia and got away with it with all the talent.
Because he was surrounded by a good defense.
Right. But here
that D line was
but up here, but when you get to the NFL, it's a whole different breed. He's gotta take it serious.
How do you guys feel about Andre Carter? Because when I was watching it, and the announcers were like, "Oh, look at Andre Carter running over the." To me, it looked like he was just running to run. Like
he's got the endurance. Let's just put it that way.
I'm like,
I gotta see more. I didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't show me anything as far as pass rush. He didn't really show me anything at all. Yeah. But he's
real.
He's got the size. He's got the size. That's all I can say right now. I haven't seen enough of him to give him more, But if he gets his stuff together, him on one side and Daniil on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like one play, he was freaking going in. He just stopped rushing and just started running towards the freaking ball was in the air. He just started running. I'm like,
he might, you know what? It's their first game and they might have had the jitters. I'll give them that.
Okay.
But it's, they're rookies, but he's a little smarter. He was in the Air Force. Come on now. He was military. So... the first game, it looked like the first game. It did.
Right.
Some of the players look lost.
A lot of players look
lost. and also, you know what? KOC didn't look like he knew what the hell he was doing either. He had moments where he was just who? No, Nick Muse. Yeah, he'll be gone. I hope he enjoyed that touchdown because he ain't gonna.
I hope he enjoyed doing that.
Number 44.
That was, I don't know whose gritty was uglier, his or Gesicki last year in Miami.
Oh my God. People Rap was saying earlier he had a good gritty. I'm like, that was terrible. I mean, I can't do much better, but at the same time, I ain't no athlete.
Put it this way: if you can't do it, don't do it at all.
Right.
Hey.
Hey, real quick. Mary, both Yogi and I just put JJ's link in the comments. So if y'all hit up JJ, it's in the link right now. Go ahead, Joe.
Everybody subscribe to nephew page. But look, how y'all feel about TJ Hawkinson, man? Is he doing the hold in like Daniil Hunter, act like he injured?
I'm thinking it's a hold in.
It's a hold in, ain't it?
The first couple days I didn't think so, but now that it's been
a week and a half, about that. I think I'm gonna do it last week. I think they'll hold it in like the Daniil Hunter probably got in the ear like shit.
Well, no, it's an NFL thing. It's a hold in where you avoid the fine.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But Daniil Hunter did it.
Because put it this way, in Dallas, Jerry Jones is fining the hell out of Zach Martin.
We need him.
Can we trade for Zach Martin?
I would love to.
Oh my gosh, I wish.
I would love to.
What are we waiting for?
What would you trade for him right now? Tony? What would you trade for him?
For Zach Martin?
How old is he?
Ezra Cleveland and maybe a 1 next year.
How old is he?
He's the same age as this is his 5th year option, right?
He's in the 20. He's in the 27 club. He's in the 27 club.
Oh yeah, I would do that exact same trade, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give up my first because I still have this ridiculous notion that the Vikings are going to make the right choice and actually draft a future quarterback with their first round pick next year.
Okay.
So there's part of me that is deluding myself into thinking that, but then reality sets in. Like they're not going to do it. So
I'm gonna tell you guys something. You guys might know.
I'm giving a second, Rieger, Cleveland, and Hicks.
Take it off.
No. Here's the thing.
Dallas is not doing that.
You know, here's the thing:
Okay.
if Jordan Addison shows out this year and he's making catches like he did that didn't get allowed
You better
on
not
Thursday
say it,
night,
Oh, he's
You
going
better
to
not
say it.
it. You better not say
you
it.
know I'm gonna say it.
No.
You know,
He's
he's
gonna
gonna
say it.
and avoid the holdout controversy because you know JJ's gonna do it. You know he is. Don't even do that, Justin. You know I'm right. You know I'm right, brother. You know I'm right.
Hold on.
You're gonna have
What?
to think about giving up. You're gonna have to put it in consideration.
And I was just about to get to that. What is going on with Justin Jefferson? Like, when are they going to sign him to
Nothing.
Like,
He's gonna play out this year, but they're gonna
He's gonna
start
play out
ramping
this
up next year.
his values is
That's
going to get
fine.
higher and higher.
So what?
Huh?
So what? It's
Ain't no
fine.
higher though. Who else? What other top receiver gonna sign a new deal that could?
It's not about him. It's about Bosa.
Who
Nick Bosa.
for San Fran? The DN?
Oh, the
Yes.
DN, yeah.
Because
What that got to do with?
because both of their agents want to be able to say that their client is the highest paid non-quarterback. So let's say JJ
Okay,
signs for
Mhm.
$35 million a year. Bosa will sign for 35.5, and then he
Oh,
can
that
say
ain't no-
he's the big. But
Oh, that ain't really.
I'm
It
just
also
saying,
it also
that's
depends
just
on
it
what
is.
it also depends on what Jordan does this year, his production. But he's
I don't
already
care.
he's already
See,
a
here's
one.
my point. Here's my point. If Jordan Addison literally did what Randy Moss did to Jake Reed and took the number 2 spot away from him, that only further illustrates that I want both Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and I'll find a way to get my quarterback a different way so that I have both of those guys sitting there waiting for this rookie quarterback.
And that's true.
I
You
don't
could get it. You could get a cheaper veteran or a rookie. You could to work with them.
We
You
need
could.
a rookie.
But you know what kind of here's the
If
thing.
Jordan
How much of
Addison
a how much of
go
a
ahead.
problem is JJ going to be though? How much of a problem
not
is
gonna
his
be a
agent
problem.
going to be?
He's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We talking about some.
That's a good point.
He could.
Tony, let me
He
put it to
could
you
win.
this way.
Okay, put it to me. Okay, tell me.
When Justin Jefferson came in at number 2 on the top 100, I was surprised. And I said that in my video. I said I figured he'd be around 4 or 5. I figured Mahomes for sure,
Right.
Mhm.
Joe Burrow for sure, and maybe Josh Allen and maybe Jalen Hurts and maybe Nick Bosa. I'll say it like
Josh Allen's fallen off the last couple of
he
years.
is. But here's my
He
point.
has.
Buffalo too.
If I'm
Mhm.
starting an NFL franchise right now, and I had the number 1 pick, I'm taking Mahomes. And if I had the 2nd pick and Mahomes was gone, I'm taking Joe Burrow. If I had the 3rd pick, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. Burrow and Mahomes are the only 2 guys in the NFL right now that I would trade Justin Jefferson for. Period, point blank. I am not finna trade Justin Jefferson for the possibility of a Caleb Williams. We don't know what that dude finna be. We don't.
No.
Yeah.
We don't.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for Jalen Hurts.
I ain't
too.
gonna lie to you, Justin. Sometimes don't let your eyes fool you. Caleb Williams was that guy in the right offense. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So was
Here's a-
RG3. So was RG3.
yeah.
Where'd that get you?
RG3 boiled out.
And then what?
That was
Kirk Cousins took his job.
No,
That's only because he got hurt. Only because he got hurt.
I know.
That was
But
the
that's
coach
my
fault.
point.
That
I
was
am not risking that.
Kirk
I
Cousins
said
took
this to
his
you guys
job.
before. I said this to you before. If the Houston Texans and the Arizona Cardinals are the 2 worst teams, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now Arizona got the 1st pick and the 2nd pick. They got the 1st and 2nd picks in the 3rd round. If Arizona came to me and said, I'll give you both the 1 and the 2, I'll give you both these 3rd round picks, and we'll give you a 1st round draft pick in 2025, I'm listening to that.
I'm doing that.
I'm not doing it, but I'm listening to it.
I'm doing that.
He's already done.
That shit done.
Yeah. It's a lot of. It gives you something to really think about.
Because but the idea of taking Justin Jefferson and only getting Caleb Williams back, that's not enough.
Oh
But
no,
if you
I agree with you.
So you've got to get a Caleb Williams, plus you got to get more if I'm even coming close to trading Justin Jefferson. And even then, you got to blow me away. You got to go Monica Lewinsky on Bill Clinton blow me away before I'm even thinking about that.
Damn.
Shit, okay, let's just be real.
Hey,
well, I use another analogy.
Well, you
somebody,
like my
somebody,
analogy earlier.
somebody besides Monica. Okay.
Somehow
I
he
need
felt blown
Superhead.
away by that one, so I don't know. But anyway, my point
y'all know
is
who
this.
Superhead is? Shit.
Did you really go there, Zo? Did you really go there?
Yo, what is going on the live tonight? What is going on the live tonight?
All right, see, Bob made a good point. Ryan Leaf was thought to be what Caleb Williams was thought to be too, and how that turned out.
Stop that, man. Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Ryan was just a joke. My God.
So all I'm saying is no. If you came to me with 2 first-round picks and 2 third-round picks and then another first-round pick, okay, I'm listening at that point. But no team would do that. No team would give you enough value for JJ because that's my point. I just gave you a ridiculous trade scenario to illustrate how much it would take for me to do it. But no team in their right mind,
no team would do it.
But do that in the first place.
But when you don't, if you have a competent front office, But this front office, my God.
Mike Lynch. What's that dude's name that did the Herschel Walker trade? Mike Lynch?
Mike Lynn. Mike
Lynn's not general managing some team that's going to give you 5 first-round picks for Justin Jefferson.
So you wouldn't trade Justin Jefferson for a first, Martin, and the following year's first?
Say that again?
2 firsts and Martin.
2 firsts and Martin.
2 firsts for
to
Martin?
Dallas?
To Dallas.
Yeah. First of all, I am not doing another trade with Dallas. I'm not giving Dallas JJ.
The phone lines of Dallas are.
I'm cool.
Yeah, the phone lines of Dallas are closed.
Yeah.
Would I give my first in Cleveland for Martin? Yes, I would. Not because I think that makes us a Super Bowl contender, but it definitely makes us an NFC Championship game contender because now you have closed the gap with San Francisco. To where I would feel confident going to San Francisco and beating that team if we had to.
Is Martin a left guard? Is Martin a left guard or a right guard? He's left. He's perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
Hey, Justin.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, look, like you made a good point, but I don't think Arizona would trade for Justin Jefferson because they paying Kyler Murray though. But what if Houston offer you a 2025 first round picks and some picks in this year's draft for Justin Jefferson because they got a rookie quarterback on the rookie contract?
They don't have their first in 2024. They gave it to Arizona.
No, I said 2025 first and some picks this year.
No.
Nah.
Because guess what? Justin Jefferson makes that team better to where all of a sudden Houston's not picking in the top 5 anymore. They be picking at least in the 12s.
I don't know. They
with Justin Jefferson?
They O-line look like Minnesota O-line.
If Justin Jefferson went to Houston, that takes them from being a bottom feeder team to a 5 to 6 win team, and now you're talking about 6 wins. You're talking about picking between 8 and 13. So no, you got to make the move. You got to make the move to get your picks before the superstar player hits the team.
Plays right.
Arizona's going to be terrible this year. Houston's going to be terrible this year. That's why I said, if you gave me the 1 and the 2 in next year's draft.
But Arizona,
I can take a Caleb Williams and then I can take Marvin Harrison Jr. plus then whatever else you got. That's different. Your original question was, would you trade Justin Jefferson straight up for a Caleb Williams? The answer to that is no.
No.
But on the back end, though, Arizona paying Kyler Murray some money and they paying a safety. They just gave him some more money. So they really got no money.
Well, their front office is just as bad as Minnesota's, probably worse.
Yeah,
they worse.
And what the hell was what in the world was Kyler Murray doing wearing a sports bra the other day?
I didn't imagine that. He was wearing a sports bra, wasn't he?
Yes. It looked like it. Am I wrong?
No, that's what it looked like, a sports bra.
I got no comment. I don't know what to say about that.
You know who he looked like? He looked like Tracy Morgan in The Longest Yard.
Oh my goodness!
You retarded.
Yo,
I ain't lying.
Yo,
oh my gosh!
It's for wind resistance. In the dome.
Oh my god!
Hey, that was on a meme. Somebody put that meme together, so it wasn't me. I'd love to take credit for it, but I can't. No, it did look like a sports bra.
Man, the Minnesota Vikings.
I take back what I said earlier when I said after this year, if my only 2 choices were Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins, and I said Kyler Murray, I take it back.
Well,
I still want to move on, but if my only two choices are Kirk Cousins and Kyler Murray, I'll take Kirk Cousins.
This is
I
what
never thought I'd say it.
I don't
This
want
is-
neither.
this is what
I don't want
was said with the local guy, Doogie, who does the local. He's on
Doogie,
Score
yeah.
North.
Yeah,
He
he's a
actually
good dude.
said that depending on how they do this year, there's a good possibility that they extend Kirk.
Oh,
Oh, my.
absolutely. I've said that for months.
Yep,
Boy,
there's
please.
a good possibility they will extend him.
If they,
I mean,
Hey, that better not
To
happen.
what? He already 35 years old. To what? 2 years?
Another
When
2
they
years.
It goes back to what Tony and I have been saying for weeks on this Saturday Night Live. The Wilfs are content with the status quo.
Being that
No,
I
I
can't.
feel you though, but he getting older though.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
You're still status quo.
Because
still in
here's
the
the
hunt.
Wilfs mindset. Option A, stay with the status quo with Kirk Cousins. And again, in 2024 and 2025, you're going to be competitive for the division. You're going to be
Right.
selling out your stadium. You're going to
Right.
be getting all the money on beer sales and food sales and jersey sales. Or option B, which is, let's just say, Jaron Hall. Or option C, who knows what the heck else. And they very well could be taking a step back. They would rather run the car that is Kirk Cousins into the ground
I'll tell you
versus
this.
versus getting a different car.
I hope you're wrong.
If they do
I
that,
hope you're
y'all,
wrong.
if they do that, guess what we all need to do?
break out your Lions jersey.
No, look, we need to boycott their ass. Every day we upload the video, dogging their ass. We need to boycott their ass.
I can't. I love the Vikings too much.
Here's the thing, though. There's already people that are doing that. There are a ton of Viking fans that want to move on from Kirk, but there's just as many that want to hang on to him for as long
I
as
know
they can.
why
I
though.
was just
What
gonna say-
is like?
I'll tell
come
you
on.
why. I'll tell you why.
What does he do that makes people just
He
like?
win
yo?
8
He
to 9
keeps you
games
from
a year.
being. He keeps you from being terrible.
Hey,
I've
But we
said
trying to
it
win a
about
Super
the-
Bowl.
But that's my
they
point.
not
You
trying
asked,
to win a Super Bowl.
I'm asking your question. Tony, we've said this. The Wilfs' first priority isn't to win a Super Bowl. That's their second priority. Their first priority is not to be horrible. Their first priority is making sure that they are never less than 7 wins. So they build their team to make sure, again, I've talked about it before. You got the ceiling of a team and you got their floor. With Kirk Cousins, your floor is 7 wins. If you get a different quarterback, you might be a 3-win team, and they are desperate to avoid another 3-win season. They care more about making sure we get our floor to 7 or 8 so that come Christmas time in
We're
that
in the hunt.
graphic where it says
In
playoff
the
teams,
hunt.
in
In
the
the
hunt.
hunt.
they want to make sure they're always if you're a 3-win team, you're eliminated by Thanksgiving, and that's their worst nightmare. And that scares them more than the pull of winning a championship. If they were smart, and again, this is not Kirk Cousins hate. This is how they have constructed the roster for the last 5 years. And it's not just about Kirk. If they were smart, they would have hired Poles from Chicago. And instead of just getting rid of Zimmer and Spielman, they would have got rid of Zimmer, Spielman, Harrison
And-
Smith,
and Cousins.
Eric Kendricks, Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and said, we're going to just toss 2022 into the trash, clear up all the salary cap hits, clear up all of these bloated contracts, and start from scratch. Outside of Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. That's would have
Yep.
been the smart long-term play.
And remember,
They didn't want to endure
Yep.
a bad season last year because they never
And-
do.
And Poles wanted to blow up the team. He would have did here
That's why
what
he didn't get
he
hired.
did, and that's why he didn't get hired. And right after that, that's when Mark Welf did the interview talking about competitive rebuild.
Competitive.
Yes.
Yeah, competitive.
Hey, hold
rebuild.
on, wait. Hey, Yogi, I'm happy D Woods got in here though. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, where y'all getting this Lions shit from though? Cause look though, for real though. Real,
Hey,
look.
because you always talk about the Lions, man. You
Hey,
be going
look,
to Lions
I got a
games.
bet. Hey, I'm uploading bet I got with my boy from the Lions. We bet $150 that the Lions do not win the NFC North.
Can I get in on that?
How
I
much?
can ask them. But
Hey,
look
hey,
though, I ain't
though, real
gonna-
talk.
I
Y'all
wouldn't
notice,
get on that.
y'all notice after last
But
week,
look,
he done
but look,
switched
though.
up on us, you know?
But look though, no, this was months ago. But look though, D Woods don't watch none of my whole videos or anything. I ain't never wore a Lions jersey, a T-shirt. My room ain't purple.
Oh,
It's
Hey,
silver. Like what the like?
we know it ain't purple.
No, D Wood started the shit though, and I seen Sarah. Sarah said something about some Lion stuff too, and I ignored it. Then Yogi said something, but this shit all come from D Wood watching only 20 seconds of my video. That shit.
Oh my
that
god,
shit ain't right,
man.
bro. D Woods, you bold as hell, bro. I ain't like.
Hey, that's that LA in me, man. I can't help myself sometimes, man. You know,
No,
it
you
is
really
what
can't.
it is.
bro. Like
You
you
would,
don't
you
watch
really
none of my
can't.
whole video.
You really can't.
I
But,
got about
hey, let
3
me get
Viking
to the-
jersey. I'm betting Lions fans, all type of crazy bets, and I'm hoping Minnesota cover because shit, that's a lot of money.
Hey, whatever it takes to get you in your fan gear, I see it worked.
Hey, who knows joy? Who knows joy? Who knows joy?
That's me.
Joy.
That's my mama, I think.
Oh, that
Yeah,
must be another channel.
that's my
I can't-
daughter got my mama phone.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I was
hey,
like,
Zoe. Hey,
You get
Zoe.
them late night goes too.
Hey, Zoe, at least your daughter watches your shows. My daughter don't watch none of mine. So
man.
Hey,
But
y'all might
I
be
just-
surprised.
My son's an Eagle fan, so I'm just like,
well, that's on you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
I'm trying. Yo, when I
what the
was in the
hell?
army,
How that
hold
happen?
up, when I was in the army, I had no control over that. I tried to get him to be a Viking
I
fan.
know
He didn't want to.
all the way. Like
Mike.
How old is
I
he?
tried to. He's 8.
He'll
You still
grow
got
out
time
of
to
it.
switch it up.
He'll grow
I'm
out of it.
trying to. He be
He'll
hating
grow
on
out
the
of it.
squad. He's like, yeah, my Eagles are beating your team. I'm like, if you don't shut up and
Okay.
go in your room,
He's
better
young
get-
right now, right?
You better get your inner AP
Yep.
in you and get
He's-
that switch and
AD Wood.
He's young right now. Give him time. He
What
might.
up, Zoe?
I know
If
he
he-
got yours. It's
if he-
all about this
here's a
right
problem,
here,
though.
man.
If he becomes a Cowboy fan or a Packer fan, you failed.
No,
No,
you
he
already
needs to.
failed.
I don't.
You
I
already
don't
failed.
when it comes to the Eagles, I can't stand the dang on Eagles, man. The Eagle fans up here, woo,
Mike.
Well, what do you? Aren't you? Well, how far are you from Philly?
I'm not that far, like 20 minutes.
Yeah, see, you're going to get that.
No, you're in trouble. But
Yeah.
Mike, who are you throwing under the bus? Saying when you was in the army, somebody
I
got
gotta
you
show
your
y'all my
boy.
room, dog. Y'all
Who
tripping.
you
Because
throwing?
he wasn't with me some of the time.
Okay.
So people putting that Eagle stuff in his head, and I'm like, yo, what in the world is going
You know,
on?
Sam. You remember Sam Cassell? Tony, you remember Sam Cassell?
Oh yeah, I remember Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam
Yeah, I
Cassell.
remember Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Cassell said it best in the 2003 series when we were playing the Sacramento Kings. And you remember Doug Christie? And you
Oh,
remember
God.
you remember that thing he and his wife did? And Sam Cassell, when talking about Christie, he says this. He says, some guys run their house and some guys run around their house. Mike, you run around your house. Okay?
Hey, why you gotta do a boy like that, Justin? Come on, man.
Why you had to do me like that?
Hey, my
Your
daughter
boy
is
8 years
a
old,
Raiders
and you
fan,
trying to
though.
say to him,
Oh,
boy
wow.
8
But my
years old.
daughter, but my 4-year-old daughter is a Viking fan. He's a Viking.
All right,
Man. Hey, I like talking to y'all. I gotta get on y'all next week. I gotta get out of here though right now.
All right,
All
big Zoe.
All right, Zoe.
All right,
Later.
Yo,
Hey, Zoe, check in. We checking in tomorrow or what?
What time? You ain't never text me back.
Hey, whatever time. What, you know we got that 3-hour difference. So
I'm saying you ain't sent no picture
All right,
or
I'm gonna-
nothing.
I'm gonna hit you on the line right now.
Yeah, text me on Instagram. You never sent no picture.
All right, I got you. I got you. There's one your Detroit Lions jersey.
Hey, y'all got Detroit shit though, bro. For real though. You got people running with that shit though, bro. Like,
oh my gosh.
for real, D Wood. Man, stop that shit though, bro. You got people
All right,
really.
stop.
For real, you got people running with that shit. Yogi said something earlier. Sarah keep on coming at me talking about my wall look like it's blue, and I sound like a Lion fan. Like,
Oh man. All right, I will. Hey,
D Wood, what 20 seconds of my
everybody
video
that's
and call
watching
me a Lion
watching
fan.
right now, please let off Zoe. He a real Viking fan this week. Okay, this week.
just this week though. Just this week.
Man, I'm out of here, man.
Oh
You
my
good, you
God.
scandalous, bro. Hey man, put me on Instagram, bro. You scandalous, dog.
All right, all right, Zoe, I'm gonna hit you, man.
I was only gonna be in here for 10 minutes. Y'all got me out here for like an hour. That's unbelievable.
Damn.
Hey, you guys might be surprised, but I'm kind of with D Woods on. I would probably, if the opportunity was there, and I could trade Justin Jefferson for 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, I've been saying that for the longest. Justin, no. I've been saying
No,
that for the
yeah.
longest, and we
I don't
seeing
think
what
anybody would do
Addison
it.
is right now. Because what I'm looking at Addison right now, I predicted he's going to get offensive rookie of the year, over 1,000 yards, go to the Pro Bowl, and if he's going to show that this season, that means he can be a true number one. And you can just sign KJ for little or nothing to be the number two, and you can trade JJ. I'm not saying like you're going to get the quarterback, because it's a crapshoot. You don't know what Caleb Williams is. I understand that, but you have the option to do that, and you can get off of him, if he's not that good. Let's just say he do suck, right? Then you can draft another quarterback in 2 years.
All I'm going to say, D Woods, at this point is this. When you first brought it up to me and Mike in that Spaces, the way you put it is what I disagree with. And it goes back to what I said earlier. If all you're telling me is, like, for example, somebody posed a question, would you take your 2024 first-round pick and Justin Jefferson to trade up for Caleb Williams? And I'm saying hell no to that. What I'm saying is you've got to get a draft pick that gets you Caleb Williams plus a few other things. At that point, I'm listening to everything you're saying. But at the time this started, the first time we talked about it, it was, would you trade JJ straight up for Caleb Williams? And to me, that's not enough.
No, it's not about.
That's all I'm saying.
It's not about
Right.
Justin. I'm gonna correct myself right now and break it down a little bit better for y'all. It's not about trading for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is just the biggest name quarterback this season.
Right.
What I'm saying is you get the ammunition to move up for the quarterback that you actually want. You get what I'm saying? It's not about just a Caleb Williams or whatever, because we don't know what Houston's going to do. We don't know what Arizona's going to do. We don't know what none of these teams, are going to do this. We don't know what Tampa's going to do this year. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if you traded Justin Jefferson, let's say this offseason right now, he's not on the team right now, Addison, pans out, whatever. You try to get 2 firsts, 2 seconds. Now you have the ammunition plus what you already have with your own picks to move up and get the guy that you identify as your franchise quarterback. It's not about just the name. It's having the ability to move up the board.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. Let's say you trade JJ for 2 first-round picks.
Right.
But it costs you those 2 first-round picks plus your first-round pick to get up to whatever guy you want. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say that's not enough.
No, you see, the thing about it though, Justin, how I think about trades though, you got to always think about it, like if you always looking at, okay, perfect example, Mike, you follow the Sixers, right? Mm-hmm. And the Sixers trying to trade Harden, right? The reason why trades don't happen is because one team is always trying to get more so they can feel like, oh, I won the trade. But if you're trading for a scenario to do what you want to do, you going to the table saying, I just want 2 firsts, 2 seconds. I don't care if I lose this trade or not. This is what I want. If you go get a Super Bowl with JJ, I don't care, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do to get my quarterback. So when you start saying it's not enough, it's never going to be enough. I mean, shit, when the Lakers traded away Shaquille O'Neal, it wasn't enough. You get what I'm saying? But they had to do that. Teams got to have balls to do that, move up, do what they got to do, and not think about if they won the trade or not. That's why some trades.
Basketball is a bad analogy, though.
Yes, I was going to. Thank you.
Basketball is a bad analogy. Seriously.
How so?
Because it's 2 different sports, and it's a different.
It cost the Lakers Vlade Divac and some scrub to get Kobe Bryant.
No, it didn't. When they traded for Shaq, they traded for the contract of Brian Grant, Lamar Odom, and Caron Butler. Right?
And guess what? No NFL team will trade for no damn contract. Don't matter. And here's the thing: even if it's a rookie contract, you're still gonna have to negotiate them when the contract's over.
That's true. So, but what I'm saying is, it's the concept of not being able to say like, oh, I'm not trying to get too much.
Have a good night, Eric. Thank you for tapping in.
Eric.
Good night, Eric. But that concept don't work in the NFL because 1, these owners are all friends, and 2, the GMs talk to everybody. You just don't get those.
And there's 53 guys as opposed
and there's
to 15.
53, and you will never ever get another Herschel Walker deal. Them days is gone thanks to the Vikings.
I think JJ gonna get traded this season. At the end of the season.
Okay, question.
I think it's going to happen.
How many more years has he got left? And did they pick up his option already? They said they were going to, right?
They did.
Yeah. The fifth
So he's
got already picked up.
So he's got 2 years, and guess what? They want to extend Kirk for 2 years.
It's going to align with everybody else. It's going to align with Quasi. It's going to align with KLC.
If it keeps them, and that's the whole thing. See, we got some mixed signals here because Mark Wilf is the one that said he was going to leave it up to KOC and Quezi. Here's the problem.
Yeah, no, he's not.
KOC and Quezi's contracts, their coaching and GM careers are going to be based on Kirk.
Yeah.
They could lose their job because they didn't get to a Super Bowl with Kirk.
That's my point.
But that's the reason why I feel like they would want to trade JJ and try to sign a quarterback, because that would give them more time. Because now he can say, I have my guy.
But here's the thing, though. It won't give him more time, especially if it doesn't pan out with that quarterback. They're only on, I think Quezi got a 3-year deal.
No, he got 4.
They both got 4. So they're both on the same time length. And you've already took up 2 years. You got lucky last year. Reality.
That's what I'm trying to say, Tony. That's the other reason why last year was fool's gold.
Yes.
Because people want to say, oh, well, they won 13 games, so that buys them more time. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It resets the expectations higher.
Make it even higher.
You lost every coach usually gets a honeymoon period of 2 years where you don't have to win. And then by year 3 or 4, you better start winning, or
you better start winning.
Fired.
Not every coach
when you win in year 1, you've now lost your honeymoon period, because now they expect you to win all the time.
And the Vikings have been lucky with coaches that were bad their first year, were better their second, and better their third. Bud improved his second year. Denny lost 2 games, but was still a good coach. Jerry Burns went to the playoffs his second year. And Mike Tice improved like 2 games. And then Childress was...
Childress took...
He didn't make the playoffs, but he was like 8-8 or something like that.
No, he took. Yeah, no. Childress was 6-10, 8-8, 10-6, and then 12-4. Yeah.
Only one that did bad was Leslie Frazier in his second year. No, his second year and a half.
Right. I know what you meant.
Yeah, second year he did go to the playoffs. I take that back. He went to the playoffs his second year. But here's what KOC now. He has set that bar to where if you're anything but 13-4, you failed.
That's my point. And that's why I said they would have been better off
tanking.
Not even tanking.
Not tanking, but not being as many wins.
Dinner made earlier that we never got to was you don't have to totally bottom out. You don't. But again, here's my bit. There's 3 kinds of teams. Teams that win 6 games or fewer, teams that win 11 games or more, and then there's that middle of 7-10. And they are so desperate, the Wilfs are, to not be a 6 or fewer, that they focus on making sure they start off at 7-10, and anything after that is gravy. Well, guess what? If you're perpetually at 7-10, it becomes more difficult to push forward. Sometimes you have to take 1 step back in order to take 2 steps forward. Because when you are a 5 or 6 win team, you now have top 10 picks. And now, if you've got the number 9 pick, look what Carolina did. They had the 8th pick, and they traded up to 1. That's different than if you have the 23rd pick trying to trade into the top 5.
Right.
So all this talk, all these points that have been made is, if you had gone last year and you had just gone, say, 5 or 6 wins, you could have gotten Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, and then you would have been starting your clock now. And what I said to Mike Castellino, when I was doing a show with him towards the end of the Zimmer regime, I said, my biggest fear is that the next coach comes in, we stay with the status quo, we have 2 years of middling where we're competitive for the division, but we never get past the divisional round. And then in 24 is when we take our step back. And then we would have just treaded water for 2 years, spent 2 years of JJ's rookie contract and his youth just to be another middling team, which is what we were with Mike Zimmer for the last 5 years. And gosh darn it, what does it look like we're doing? Exactly
like
what
it's
I said I
happening.
didn't want to happen.
Hey, Justin. So
because all you would have done is
what if-
delay the inevitable for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Woods.
So what if but what if a Kirk Cousins injury happens, and we got to play Jaron Hall or even Mullins out there? That would drop us down to 5 games. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but I'm saying it's like we've been
the one thing that Hall and Mullins have is mobility. Could work.
No, but they ain't gonna win no games. I'm not saying they're gonna win no games. You never know, but I'm just saying though, like the Kirk Cousins talk is always basically he's a 500 quarterback, so we're a 500 team. He's not gonna do so much to get us to the promised land. He's gonna keep us right in the middle too. So that's a problem.
But
so
that's what I've been saying.
That's what we've been saying. But have any of you noticed, with all the turmoil that's been going on with the Washington team, the one thing you're not hearing out of Washington fans is they miss Kirk Cousins?
Of course not. No. The Kirk Cousins stands will be there. Look at all these quarterbacks that Washington has gone through.
Yeah.
How many times has Washington gone to the playoffs since Kirk Cousins left? Once.
Once.
How many times have the Vikings gone to the playoffs with Kirk Cousins? Twice.
We all in the same boat.
Let me say it like this. Here's another one for you. In 2017, the Vikings were in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars were in the AFC Championship game.
Both Blake
teams
Bortles.
lost.
With Blake
we
Bortles.
went with Case Keenum, and one went with Blake Bortles. Okay? And what happened to both of those teams?
They lost.
They lost. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings get Kirk Cousins. And the year after that, the Jaguars got Nick Foles. And what happened? One of them said, we're cutting the cord with this good, not great quarterback. And one was bad for a year and got a franchise young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. The other has spun its wheels and stayed in place. I'm not saying that right now Football Fabio is better than Kirk Cousins. I would say that Kirk is probably just a hair above Trevor. Trevor can do things that Kirk can't do, but Kirk can do things that Trevor can't do. But how they have constructed their roster, they took the step back for a year. And now they have a cheap quarterback. We didn't take a step back. Everybody wants to talk about how did Philadelphia win a Super Bowl and then get back to him a few years later? Let's see. In 2018, Philly got to the divisional round of the playoffs and lost. And then they got rid of Nick Foles. And the year after that, they got rid of Carson Wentz. And they sucked for a year. And then they got Jalen Hurts. And then
everything changed.
Mm-hmm. And then in 2021, they went to the playoffs as a wild card. They got killed.
Right.
And the next year after that, they got to the Super Bowl. But what's the common denominator? They were not afraid to take a step back for a year. But this ownership group, and to the point that Yogi made earlier, maybe it was Mike, there are so many people in this fan base that are so scared that if you take a step back for 1 year, that means you're destined to take a step back for 10 years.
Right.
And so
they're happy. This fan base is happy with mediocre,
being just good, but never,
they're happy.
They're happy being just okay.
Some of these Viking fans are happy so they can go online, and the most ones they bitch with is Packer fans. Mm-hmm. And so they want that little ammo. Well, look at what our quarterback did compared to yours and all this other BS.
Yeah,
but it's like they're not looking at the big picture.
No.
No.
For one who actually watched great Viking teams and see them lose 3 Super Bowls, I don't care. Ooh. I want to see this current team go back to that any day of the week. I would take that.
I want to see them get to. I've never seen one in my lifetime. All I know is I've never seen it in my lifetime. I just want one before I die.
I got a trade proposal.
Well, you know what? Watching them lose and they weren't in either game, it hurts.
I'm out, y'all.
All right,
Mike.
Good night, y'all.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy Monday, Mike.
All right.
But yeah, it's just they gotta strive for better. They gotta strive for more than mediocre, put it that way.
Right, but that's my point. Sometimes the way you get out of being mediocre is to be bad.
Yes, exactly.
And that doesn't mean that I want the team. Justin, you want the team to be 3-14? Well, that's not what I want. But I'm willing to accept it for a year, and then the next year I'm willing to accept being 6-11, so that now I've got a 3-year stretch where I've got a 3-year opportunity to go to multiple NFC Championship games and heaven forbid go to a Super Bowl. And heaven forbid part 2 win one. What's up, Yogi?
So that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that 2 to 3 year window, we trade Justin Jefferson to the Bengals for 3 first-round picks. With that first pick, forget about Caleb Williams, Drake May, but you got Jordan Travis, you got Bo Nix, you got JJ McCarthy. So whichever guy is your guy, with your first pick, you pick your quarterback. With that second pick, the Bengals pick, which will probably be like the
32.
32.
You go grab Cooper Beebe from Kansas State, left guard, hell of a beast. You guys go look up his film, watch his film. You start plugging those holes. Then for the next 2 years, you got 2 first-round picks. You're not paying JJ money. You got TJ Hawkinson. Nope. You extend him, security blanket. Then the next 2 years, you got 2 first-round picks each year to build around either your quarterback or your defense.
See, Yogi, right there, you're thinking with common sense. You're not thinking like this administration thinks right now. That type of trade, I would seriously shop it around, but this team will not do it. For one, JJ actually makes his team too much money, gives his team notoriety. Him and Kirk both. It's like they want the notoriety, they want the jersey sales, they want that name next to the player says Minnesota Vikings on a national level. It's all about marketing. All about marketing. And that's part of the money. So you get rid of JJ and say Kirk goes, you got to find somebody else who they're going to market to.
Hey, Yogi, you see that back there? That TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, you, Rap, and SK were on the TV tonight, by the way. I'm like, why is my TV still? Oh, that's right. I left it on because I was cooking, and then I jumped in with you, so I totally forgot that was still on. But anyway, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Tony. And this gets back to what again? We can't change the past. We're not changing. Kirk Cousins is going to be our quarterback. We're behind him. He's our guy. We want to see him succeed.
Blah.
I think all of us would love. All of us would love to the third Saturday night in February. Would love to be all saying we were wrong about Kirk. We would all love for that to be the case.
Okay, I got to put it out there. Kirk wins a Super Bowl, I'm still going to be defiant. Okay. I am. I just am. But I will give him his props.
Though, right?
Yes, that's what
I will give him his props. I'll be defiant as hell. I will give him his props. But
like somebody asked me what my threshold was about re-signing Kirk Cousins and feeling good about it. And I said, I'll make this real simple. If you don't make the playoffs, Kirk, bye. If you lose in the wild card round, Kirk, bye.
Bye.
If you lose in the divisional round, Kirk, bye.
Well,
you get to a Super Bowl, whether you win it or lose it, then I'll extend Kirk. And I'm not going to like it, but if you got to a Super Bowl, a place that I've never seen this team get to, I can't be mad at him for sticking with it. Now, you get to the NFC Championship game and you lose 41-0, Kirk, bye. You get to the NFC Championship game and you lose 34-33, and you had Greg Joseph in line to kick a 34-yard field goal like he did 2 years ago against Arizona and missed it. I'm not going to hold that against Kirk.
So you're going to be real mad when we win 9 games, make the wild card, lose, and they extend Kirk Cousins?
Okay, 9 games. 9 games this year actually wins the division in the NFC North. 9 games wins the NFC North.
We're gonna be division champs. They're gonna extend Kirk Cousins, and we're gonna lose in the playoffs.
Okay, you know what, Yogi? Just for saying that, I'm gonna track you down.
I know, right?
I will hunt you down.
But to his point, though, Tony, to his point,
he's right.
If the Vikings get to the divisional round of the playoffs, regardless of how, the Wills will be like, "Son, here, Kirk. Come on, Kirk. Come on back.
Exactly.
We got to the divisional round of the playoffs." I mean,
oh, that was perfect, Mark Wilf.
Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right.
So Justin,
again,
But
you got to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum, and you told us they sold us on Kirk Cousins being the answer to take us the final distance. So to me, getting back to the NFC Championship game is the bare minimum for success. Everybody went, oh, if Kirk got us to the NFC Championship game, that is incredible. How? Case already did that.
And here's a problem with this franchise. They keep delaying the inevitable.
Yes.
They keep kicking the can down the road. And they've done it for so many years till it's become like normal for them.
Yes.
So they ain't got no more cans to kick.
Here's another one that's funny. I got into it with Dave from Minnesota Sports Talk about Kirk's salary and this. He's like, well, he's only making $20 million on the salary cap this year. Yeah, he's got a $28.5 million dead cap hit next year. So let's not pretend that bomb doesn't exist. But he's just like, well, why not sign Kirk Cousins to like a 1-year extension for like $35 million? I said, do you understand that if you extend Kirk Cousins for 1 year, $35 million, that means his salary cap hit will be $45 million next year, and then you'd still have 18.5 dead on 2025, as opposed to the 28.5 dead on 2024. The more you keep extending him, the more you keep delaying paying off that dead cap hit. So, you want to have $28.5 million dead for a guy that's not on our team? I'm like, if that means the bill gets paid finally, then yes. I don't want to keep delaying. You know what this dead cap hit is? It's like, let's say you got a $10,000 credit card and you max it out, right? Mm-hmm. And then another credit card company says, hey, we'll give you a $12,000 limit and we'll balance transfer your 10 onto us and we'll give you a lower interest rate. And then a year later, you're maxed out on the 12, and now a $14,000 line has come along and saying, hey, all you're doing is balance transferring. You're never paying off your debt. And they've got $60 million in dead money set up right now between Cousins, Hunter, Harrison Smith, and Marcus Davenport. 4 players that will cost you $60 million to not be here. At some point, rip off the Band-Aid, take your bad year, pay off your debts. But that's not how
who do you blame that on, Justin? Do you blame all
the Wills
or Brzezinski?
The Wills.
No, the Wills. Brzezinski's supposed to be just a cap guy. He just did his job.
He's doing his job.
Brzezinski did what the Wills told him to do.
Brzezinski basically moves money around.
Right.
And what happens is now that's coming back to bite him in the ass because it's like you have to pay it at some point and it all becomes due at one time. They've kicked it down the road so much till now it's become due for a lot of players, and it's in the cap hits.
You got 2 or 3 credit cards and every month you're just struggling to pay your bills. You got your water bill, your heat bill, your internet bill, your grocery bill. At some point, you can balance transfer stuff around and you can make a payment arrangement with your debtors to say, okay, I'll pay you this much now and I'll pay you this much later. All of these void years, all it is a payment arrangement where you give a player a 3-year contract and their signing bonus is $50 million. And instead of having, what's 50 divided by 3? That's 48. Instead of having 17 million for your 3 years prorated, we'll put 2 void years on your contract so that your proration for your signing bonus is 10 million over 5 years. Well, guess what happens after year 3? That 20 million that you've got left over is all due. So all it is taking money from a contract of a current period of time and having it hit your salary cap at a later date beyond the contract. And that's why every year for the last 3 years, the Vikings have always started in the hole. We paid Anthony Barr $10 million against the cap last year. He didn't even play for us.
Yeah.
Everybody want to laugh at Green. Remember how we were laughing at Green Bay about how they had more on their salary cap than Darius Smith than we did? We did the same thing with Anthony Barr. And we're going to be doing the same thing with all of these players. Because
here's the thing with Kirk.
And they told him to do it.
And here's the thing with Kirk. Kirk knows him on the open market, he's not going to get the type of money he'd get from the Vikings.
Of course not, because
he'll never get that again. So guess what? Minnesota comes knocking, talking about an extension. He's going to take it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he's actually what he's going to do. What he's going to do is, let me think on that for a minute.
Oh, he gonna hold him up. He
Give
gonna
me
hold
more
him up.
guaranteed money.
He's gonna put that gun. Be like,
Yeah.
no.
He gonna hold him up.
I offered you a discount last year. You didn't want to give it to me. I ain't giving you no discount, and I don't begrudge him that. I don't. But because Kwesi, I'll tell you right now, Kwesi and O'Connell do not want to be stuck with him.
No.
But at the same time, it's just like, okay, well, if I take, let's just say Jaron Hall, just as an example. Let's just say Jaron Hall. Let's say Jaron Hall starts in 2024, and they go 4-12 or 4-13. Guess what? Ziggy and Mark here, you went 13-4 with Kirk Cousins, and then you went 11-6 with Kirk Cousins, and now you went 4-13 with this guy. You better win this year or you're fired. Well, they know that, so then they say to themselves, well, we don't want to hitch our wagon to Kirk because we know we can't win a Super Bowl, and if we don't, we're going to get fired. But we also know that Jaron Hall might not be the answer, and if he's not, we're going to get fired. That's the beauty of being a coach in the NFL.
Okay, Justin and Yogi,
about Survivor.
I got a question for both of you guys. Mm-hmm. When it fell through with Harbaugh, right away they said they were in on KOC, and KOC told them he wasn't interested. Mm-hmm. It's like all of a sudden there was a change with KOC
because he was able to get the head coaching job. I mean,
he didn't want it though.
You want that head coaching job,
but KOC did not want it at first. He said, "Do not talk to me about the head coaching job."
McVay was going to retire.
Huh? Well,
maybe he thought that McVay was going to retire.
McVay was supposed to retire. Yeah, McVay was going to walk away, and all of a sudden,
so that will do it.
But I mean, he had, and then from what I understand. From what I understand, the contract he signed is nothing special. It's just a coaching contract. Mm-hmm. He's just he has no talk of player personnel. That's all Kwesi. But then whenever they sign players now, everybody's like, well, Kwesi can do just what Spielman can do. No, he doesn't. He's got a committee that he has to go through to sign players and spend money. So he's hamstrung. He's
and that's the thing about I want to say this about Kwesi too, by the way. We will rip him for his draft trade, that first draft. I'll rip him to shreds for leaving money on the table for that. But I put his drafting and I put his free agent moves in two different buckets. And I'll tell you why. Right. The free agent bucket, he's been working with one hand tied behind his back since he got here.
Yeah.
Because Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer were in job-saving mode. We're making moves for today. We're creating problems for down the road. Well, if we get fired, why do we care about these problems down the road, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Again, I said it earlier. When Zimmer first got here, they were very smart about their salary cap. They had salary cap room for days, no pun intended. Okay, but anyway, when you come into a job and you are given the directive, we don't take a step back here. That's why we didn't hire the polls guy. He told us that he wanted to blow up this team and clear off the decks and play for 2025 and 2026. And we said no to that.
Show yet? I'm ready to talk to you, baby.
I know, Yogi. I know
Yogi, you'll kick your ass next time I see you.
Yogi, I know that soundboard of yours got some of that bang shanka wow wow music in there. Okay, so anyway, my point is that the Wilf said you're going to be competitive if you want this job, and here's the constraints you have to work with. You have to work with the fact that we got so much dead cap hits on our salary cap. We have very little salary cap space. We have a good, not great quarterback on market value. So go ahead and make us competitively rebuild. Kwesi's just working within the structure of what his owner, who said, these are your job requirements if you want this job. Well, of course he wants the job.
It looks good on a resume.
It looks good on a resume.
That's what I said.
And, and guess what? If Kwesi gets fired in 2 years and now he applies to another general manager job, he's going to be like, well, I was working with what the Wilfs told me to work with. They never let me take a step back. They said you have to stay competitive year after year. And the only way I could do that was to make salary cap mess even a bigger salary cap mess.
I think if Kwesi does whatever happens with Kwesi, I think he leaves sports altogether. Probably goes in a financial world.
Or takes a few years off and maybe comes back in 5 years or something.
Now, here's my question for you guys. Do you think KOC is going to make it?
No. This is what I think is going to happen. KOC is going to mess up again with his play calling.
I gotta get a drink.
Maybe not this year. Oh, maybe not this year, next year. And Brian Flores, if he's still here, will take over because he's more of a head coach and a leader of men. Why I'm saying a leader of men, because that debacle last year in Green Bay with the cleat situation, them sliding on and stuff like that, wearing the cleats that they wanted to wear, that doesn't happen with a guy like Brian Flores or Mike Zimmer. That's my opinion. I don't think KOC is going to be here in the next 2 years.
I like Kevin. I just think he's too soft. Yeah. He doesn't
He's
have
too much
that,
of a player's coach.
Right. And I mean, the Redskin players are getting on Eric Bieniemy for yelling at him. Grow up, get used to it. It's what happens. Don't be such a soft little skinny jean wearing little bitch. You're going to get yelled at when you fuck up. That's called football. I can't remember a day when I played football in high school. I didn't get yelled at, and I was playing decent.
I just feel like with KOC, like he's attached to the, to McVay and to Shanahan and stuff like that. I just understand like he's not those guys, and if his offense disappears for 2 quarters, all this upcoming season, then we got to really say like, hey, he's not that guy.
Well, and this is where, like you said, he's got to get. Here's my thing. Last year was his first year calling plays ever.
Exactly.
He should probably give that gig up to somebody competent in his offensive coordinator, and worry about the team, because he's missing like aspects of, you have a terrible offensive line. Your defensive line is not that good. Your running back situation is not the best. And your defense needs a lot of help. You need to be looking at all sides of the football. Be a coach.
But
coach
Tony, who's his offensive coordinator? Is his offensive coordinator competent to call him? Because he's never done
I don't know anything about Wes Phillips. I think he just came with him from LA.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Who was Mike Zimmer's defensive coordinator?
Mike Zimmer.
Who was exactly?
Mike Zimmer.
George Edwards.
But to answer your question, the only possible way, I see all your points were good. And again, I had my earphones out. I heard everything you said. The only way KOC survives, assuming that they continue to do what they've been doing, in the context of your question, is if after this season they move on from Kirk Cousins and somehow, some way, Jaron Hall has developed, and they start Jaron Hall, and Jaron Hall is successful. Because then he found this guy, he and Kwesi found this guy, he and Kwesi developed this guy, and now we're either in the same spot of being somewhere between 7 and 10 wins, where we're always competitive, or we're better. That's his silver bullet. Is if he finds the quarterback to replace Kirk.
Hey, Vikings Gaming. Hey, welcome.
What's up, Gaming?
What's up, Gaming? Because I'm going to be honest with you, before the bye week, which is in week 13, but the first 8 games of the season,
first 7, yeah.
It's dicey.
Yeah, they could be 3 and 4.
They could be 2 and 5.
2 and 5. You got Tampa Bay. You got Carolina. That should be 2. You got Chicago. That should be 3.
I'm not going to. Carolina's on the road.
True.
Okay.
It's still Carolina. They're not good.
The Chargers kind of worry me because
Herbert, that's a 50-50 game.
That's a 50-50. They ain't beating Kansas City.
I'm going
because I want them to.
They're not beating Philly. They're not beating Kansas City.
We don't usually win in Chicago.
Right.
Okay. Then you got the Niners.
Mm-hmm. That's your 3 and 4.
And we really don't know which Packer team's going to show up.
The Packers are terrible. They're going to be terrible. They are going to be terrible. So getting back to, you've watched my good versus evil video, Tony, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So evil side said we'll beat Tampa Bay, we'll beat the Chargers, and who else did that? And beat Carolina for sure. And the reason I say I like their chances against the Chargers, because it is a 50-50 game. But remind you, that's week 3, and we're coming off the mini bye because we play Thursday Night Football against Philly. So it's at home off a mini bye. I'm going to give them the slight edge there. Now, evil me said, we're going to lose to Chicago because we always lose in Chicago. But, so again, I had them at 3-4 after that 7-week stretch. Light side me says, no, we're going to beat Chicago, and we might beat San Francisco. And I don't know about San Francisco. But my point is this. You're going to be either 3-4 or 4-3, I would think, at best, after your 7 weeks. But those next 5 games into the bye, you should be 4-1 or 5-0. You got Green Bay, who's terrible. You got the Saints, who are mediocre at best.
You got the Falcons.
Falcons, who are terrible. Now, the Denver game, that's the one where I say that's probably one, or on paper, we're better than them. We should win that game, but it's Sunday Night Football on the road in Denver. I chalk that one up as a possible loss. And then you got Chicago at home before the bye week. You should be 4-1 or 5-0 in that stretch.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're probably looking at about 9-4, 8-5 at the bye week. Yeah, okay. But I get it. You got all 4 of the final 4 teams from last year, and you got 3 of them in the first 7 games.
Hey,
hold on to your boots.
Don't sleep on the Saints though. They might be terrible, but they might sneak into the playoffs because.
By the way,
they will.
Who gave Derek Carr the steroids?
Man.
I will say this though. I think the Saints. I said the Saints are going to win that division. I said that's my pick for that terrible team. Carolina, they're about 2 years away. Atlanta's about 3 years away. Tampa Bay is mediocre. No, the Saints are going to win that division. But Derek Carr and the Saints are not coming into US Bank Stadium and winning that game. So you got to be 4-0 against the AFC South. You got to be 3-1 or 4-0 against the Packers and the Bears. That's 7 wins right there.
But see, in this year's schedule is going to be a wake-up call for KOC to not be complacent in the second and third quarter.
Yeah,
he's got to keep the gap.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that.
He's got to. If he doesn't, with those games we won last year, we're not winning this year.
Well, what's interesting about the schedule is we do face better quarterbacks this year, but the schedule is top-heavy. You got the top 4 teams from last year we just talked about in Philly, Kansas City, San Francisco, and Cincinnati. Outside of that, okay, yeah, you got Justin Herbert, but like I said, at home off a mini bye. What else do you have on that schedule? You got Derek Carr.
You got Russell Wilson, and he still looks like last year's Russell Wilson.
Right.
So, you got Desmond Ritter. You got Jordan Love.
Right.
We don't even know who's exactly. We don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Niners.
Which
don't matter.
Exactly. They got. You know
they
what?
got the
you
defense.
want to know who's? No, they got the defensive line and the offensive line.
Yep.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
They are dominant against the 2 things we are weak, and that's why I don't care if it's Brock Purdy. I don't care if it's Trey Lance. I still would favor, even though it's in our house, because they got lines.
And I'm gonna tell you what, that
even Philly, Sam Darnold.
He could make Sam Darnold actually.
Yeah,
he lit up the Vikings when he was against Zimmer's defense. So
that's true.
But the scary part, that Philadelphia game worries me. With that front 4 they got. That's
talking about Shanahan.
Philly's front 4 against the Vikings offensive line, really?
No, Tony. Why are you worried? We should already know we're going to get smoked that game. Ain't nothing to worry about.
No, I'm worried.
Question, guys.
I'm worried they put a beating on them so bad till it psychologically.
Yes, go ahead, G Woods.
Yeah. Quick question, guys. We just talked about the Niners and how the Niners basically they got a plug and play quarterback position. With that being said, and saying like KOC is with that tree or whatever with McVay, wouldn't that put more pressure on KOC to find his guy because of what's going on in other spots that run the similar offense, that they're just plug and play guys and he can't even do it and he's stuck with Kirk Cousins? That should put more pressure on KOC.
It would, but you know what? If you look at McVay, got the most he could out of Stafford.
And frankly, he got the most he could out of Goff.
Yeah, and he got the most he could out of Goff too.
But
which
We just said it a minute ago. I'll answer your question. What does McVay have? And what does Shanahan have? When you talk about their plug-and-play quarterbacks, what do they have that we don't?
Defensive line.
They built it right. They built the offensive line and the defensive line and everything around it so they could put maybe a quarterback that doesn't have top skills behind that offensive line, give him some pretty damn good receivers, put Christian McCaffrey behind him with that defense. Recipe for success.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, it's just like, all those guys that run the same offense, they seem to be succeeding. And if KLC doesn't succeed this season, I think that's like a knock on him because you're running the same offense. And how come you're supposed to be the next guy? And if you can't plug and play either, like, what do we have?
I'll say this.
KLC wants to run. Okay, go ahead, Justin.
If you put Shanahan or McVay as the Vikings head coach and they try doing what they're doing in San Francisco and LA, they would fail because they don't have those lines.
Yeah, they don't have the lines.
We can talk about Justin Jefferson and Addison and running back by committee. The best way to stop Justin Jefferson isn't with Sauce Gardner. The best way to stop Justin Jefferson is with Philly's D-line and San Francisco's D-line and Dallas D-line and put Kirk Cousins on his back. That's how you stop Justin Jefferson. You don't try to match up with him with cornerbacks. You try to get to his passer. Because it's a lot easier for those defensive lines to get to Kirk Cousins than it is for Sauce Gardner or Jair Alexander to cover Justin Jefferson one-on-one.
Yeah, for some reason,
I'll be back in a minute, boys.
Yep. For some reason, I think KOC has that philosophy that they can get in a track meet with teams, and they can't. They just can't. Here. And that's the I don't even know what the Viking offensive philosophy is.
I don't either, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a knock on KOC, but I see the efficiencies, and I really don't like it because I don't know.
He looks like a first-year coach. He looks like a
like you get what I'm saying. Like I want to know like what is his thing? Like what's his staple in his offense? Or are you just going to copy what these other offenses are doing?
And we don't know because he's never called an offense before.
Exactly. And the offense that he has called in the second and third quarter, they disappear.
Yes.
That's his offense. Yeah. That's all we know right now. That's what we're going into the season as.
He's got
in the battle in the fourth quarter.
Hey, you have a good night, Bob. And,
have a good night, Bob.
I'll be sending an email out to the Fantasy Football League, and I'm coming for you. Oh, D Woods is in the league too. I'm coming for him too. Coming for everybody.
But I mean, it's with Kevin O'Connell. He does seem a little apprehensive at times. He does seem to loses track of things, but he's got to keep that intense. Hopefully he learned. Keep the intensity up. Don't take your foot off the pedal. Keep it going. And that's, he got lucky last year. If he gets a setback this year, I kind of want to see how he handles adversity.
Well, he'll find out real quick come week 2.
Yeah, how he handles adversity. And if it's a weekly thing, really want to see that. It's just because optimistically, going back to the light side, you got your big 4. On paper, you could easily win the other 13 games. You really could. That's true.
And if we're 13-4 again, and our only losses are to the 4 teams that were in the finals last year.
Yeah, Kirk will be here for life.
But my point is this. I think Philly going to win the East. I think Dallas is going to be a wild card. I think San Francisco and Seattle are going to duke it out in the West. I think Minnesota and Detroit are going to duke it out in the North. And I think that final – and then I think the Saints are going to win the South. Those are my 7 playoff teams right now. So let's say you win the division and you're hosting either Dallas, Detroit, or Seattle. That's a dogfight. Even if you were 13-4 again, even if you won all those other games. Now, let's say you won against San Francisco and you got the 2 seed. You're still facing one of those 3 teams. Whether you're the 2 or the 3 seed, you could easily win that game and you can easily lose that game. If you match up with sports is all about matchups. It's where are my strengths and weaknesses? Where are my opponent's strengths and weaknesses? The Dallas Cowboys are no better than the Vikings on aggregate overall. Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, they're about the same.
They're the same. According to who was it? Amari Cooper, they're the same. Or who was it that called him the Black Kirk Cousins?
I don't remember who said it. But my point is this. When Dak Prescott was injured in 2021, the Cowboys were terrible. And so they gave Dak a lot of money. Said, "Oh my god!"
Oh, you mean that year when Cooper Rush beat us?
Yeah, I think they were a 5 or 6 win team.
5 or 6 win team, yeah.
So what did Jerry Jones say? Well, I gotta sign Dak. Otherwise, I'm terrible. What does Dak get you? Dak gets you to the divisional round of the playoffs, and that's about it.
500.
But Jerry's also the type that he overpaid for Zeke Elliott.
Mm-hmm. Well, my point is, what does Kirk Cousins get you? The divisional round of the playoffs.
Divisional round.
Is that better than being a 5-win team? Theoretically, but it's not a Super Bowl team. Now, my point is
keeping
this.
you right there.
Yeah, he's keeping the status quo.
Status quo. If you get to the divisional round of the playoffs, whether you host San Francisco or go to San Francisco, or whether you host Seattle because they won their division and won their playoff game, you're in a dogfight at best. You're in a dogfight at home, and you're prohibitive underdogs on the road. What does that get you? So ultimately, the bottom line is this. My stance on my channel has been, I've made my points about what I think the best direction for the future would have been, because I think we're spinning our wheels. Now that we're in preseason and regular season mode, it's no longer, I don't have this kind of talk on my channel. I do it with you guys just for the fun of it. But on my channel, I'm focused on this year and this year only, because that's all we've got at the moment. But yeah, we could easily go 13-4 again. I know that sounds crazy, because outside of the Chargers and the road game in Denver, what games do you look at? Oh, the road game in Chicago too. Yeah, I suppose, because we should beat Chicago in Chicago. I don't care what
Chicago's field looked good today. By the time we get there, that field's going to be chopped up, terrible, and everything else.
Justin Fields.
So
I said I like Justin Fields. I think he hasn't had enough infrastructure around him. But oh my gosh, these Bear fans and these Lions fans talking all this mess. Oh, the Vikings were lucky last year. Yeah. How many years were the Packers at some point lucky?
They had a lot of luck one year, even with Rodgers. They had a lot of luck.
Would you rather be lucky or would you rather be terrible? I'd rather be lucky.
Yeah.
Now, yes, looking at last year as a whole, for me, if we had found a way to beat the Giants at the end, at the buzzer, let's say we score a touchdown and we go for 2 and we make it, and then we stop Daniel Jones because he would only had 30 seconds, we would have gone to San Francisco and got killed. So losing that game to the Giants, whether you had won that game or not, does not materially change what your season was. So I'm banking on Addison being better than Thielen. I'm banking on the running back by committee allowing the offense to be more consistent and not have as many 3-and-outs. We've talked about it on this show tonight a couple of times. Woods, you've mentioned it.
Right.
That lull after the first or second drive up until the last part of the third quarter or the start of the fourth quarter where they don't do anything offensively. You've got to find a way, regardless of all the other stuff we've said, you've got to find a way to have long, sustained drives. You've got to put the ball in the end zone more. You have to cut down on your 3-and-outs because, 1, you score more points, obviously, but 2, you keep your defense off the field.
Fresh.
Because for all of the shade we wanted to throw on the defense last year, they were gassed because we were going 3-and-out all the time. So we weren't playing that
the three were just too many 3-and-outs. And that's why I said this year KOC needs to put together a ball control offense.
Yes.
It's not right.
At the very least, not have. He had so many Wood, you brought it up. That jump pass in Detroit. What the hell?
Why?
Was that?
It's too cute.
It's too cute,
man.
He does. Well, didn't he do an end around in the playoff game on like 4th down with JJ?
That was the throwback.
What I mean, What the hell was that?
Well, what it was,
It's
here's
just
what
being
it
too
was.
cute.
It was second and 10,
Exactly.
and Madison got 9.5 yards. And originally they called it a first down. So that dipsy doodle pass was supposed to be on 1st and 10. And then they changed it to 3rd and 1. Now I put that on because everybody said, well, that's a terrible call. No. You got to kill that play. That play was designed to be on 1st and 10, where your defense is configured to defend 1st and 10, not to defend 3rd and 1. So they should have called a timeout.
And this team last year, though, they could not. The offensive line could not get a yard if their lives depended on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could. I mean, they would have lost that game in Buffalo, and it cost them in Green Bay.
Hey, I want to turn back to something that D Woods put a little wrinkle in my thinking, because with KOC being gone and Flores becoming the head coach of the Vikings, I would be okay with that. My prediction is he's going to stay with the Vikings until the head coaching spot for the Patriots opened up. But man, that's
the Patriots. The Patriots one is kind of weird too, because what's his name end up back there? McDaniels?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think this is Belichick's last
Patricia.
Yeah, Patricia. That guy should not even be a head coach at all.
I think Kraft would go with either McDaniels or Flores.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't
know. Kraft. See, this is going to put him in another spot. He hasn't had to pick a coach since what, 2001?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so this is going to be something different for him.
But I mean, KOC, and we'll take.
You're also going to have that Washington job open up, I think.
Maybe.
That's insane. The Chargers.
I think Flores, when it comes to Flores getting another gig, I feel like he's only going to go to a team to where he can do his thing, and it's not going to be like hurry up and win now in a certain situation. You know, like Miami, to where he can go in there and do what he can do, and he can actually see his vision come to fruition in maybe like 3 years. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I brought up the KOC situation, because it's like, this is what I think about it. You guys remember when Dallas fired Parcells, right? Mm-hmm. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. Dallas fired Parcells. They hired Garrett, right? They had that great season. Because it was a new guy in the locker room. He was okay with the guys who was player coach, right? But then that second year, they went right back down again. And that's just what we're going to see with KOC, that he came in because Zimmer was a hard ass. Now all the guys are loose or whatever. And then sooner or later, you're going to see more and more stuff start happening. I'm not saying Addison is the start of it, but that's how stuff starts to go in the media of players getting in trouble. And you're going to need a guy that's a hard ass like Brian Flores to bring it back in.
Here's the thing, though, with Minnesota media, Justin and Yogi, you can attest to this too. When it comes to the Vikings are very insulated, and there's nothing but purple positivity that comes out of there. I call it purple positivity.
Purple positivity.
The negative stuff kind of went out the window with Zimmer, all the negative fighting and all that. But now they've got it to the point where nothing comes out of TCO but positive feedback.
I mean, what if things happen outside of TCO?
I'll say this. Oh, go ahead, D-Woods.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I said, what if things happen outside of TCO?
They will still try to spin it without as much as they can. I will say this. That pendulum is starting to swing. Is it really?
Yes. Score North does not sugarcoat anything.
No, that's why I listen to him. Listen to him.
KFAN, you're right. Like we all.
Yeah, KFAN is notoriously bad compared to what they were when they first had the Vikings. It's night and day.
We all love Paul Allen as a play-by-play guy.
No, we don't.
You don't?
Oh, I can't stand Paul Allen.
Really?
I can't stand him.
As a play-by-play caller, I like him. As a radio guy,
a lot of people like him as a play-by-play, but he sucks.
I don't think he sucks at play. Let me put it this way: I was a fan of his show back when I was in college, before he was play-by-play guy. And
when he was with Jesse,
Jeff Dubay.
But they got their start with Jesse Ventura.
Yes. No. See, here's what happened with that. So Jesse Ventura had the 10 to 1 slot.
Right.
And Jesse when he ran for governor had to give. He can't be on the radio and run.
When he won, he had to give it up. So that automatically
he
went
had to give it up when he was running.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't on the air.
Because you can't be a candidate and have a radio show. That's an unfair advantage. So PA and Dubé were the fill-ins for Jesse, and if Jesse had lost, Jesse
he would have went back.
Back.
They went. What was their gig from temporary layoff to permanent payoff?
Yes, the whole good time. That's why they ended their show with good times, because that's what they were.
And then they had it for so long, and then Jeff got into some drug problems, and then it only ended up. It ended up PA.
Do you know the story behind that?
About Jeff's coke thing?
Yeah. Do you know what happened? Like what led to that?
I think he got busted doing.
No, but why did he do it in the first place? Is what I'm saying.
No, I don't know. I want to know this.
He was married.
Sources.
Okay.
No, this ain't sources. This is out there.
This is the facts.
He was married.
Okay.
His wife cheated on him with his brother.
Dang, that'll make you do some coke too.
Okay, if I always wanted to ask Jeff, because years ago I knew a Joel Dubé. Was it Joel?
I don't know if it was Joel or not.
Because Joel, I used to be at First Avenue all the time. Joel had a band, a metal band, and his name was Dubé. And I was always like, I wonder if he's related to Jeff. I'm sure he is. But so she cheated on him
with his brother,
and that's why he snapped. That's why he spiraled. Because it was bad. It made the front pages here in the Twin Cities.
Imagine being his mom. I got one son who's devastated and the other son who did it to him.
Oh, that's a hell of a Thanksgiving.
And don't get me wrong. You know what? I'm not speaking ill of Jeff. I've actually met Jeff a couple. This was decades ago.
Yeah, this was in like 06.
This was
07.
I mean, again, they started in '98. And his spiral was in 2008, so they were on the air together for 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And he's a good dude, but he just had all kinds of demons. But the point I'm making is, when I first heard of PA and Dubé, I was 21 at the time, so I liked positivity. I was the, Homer, positive. I'm nowhere near what I'm at now. Now I'm a little more curmudgeon-y, okay? But after a while, I'm just like, okay, I can't.
The shtick gets old.
The shtick gets old, and and again, I don't begrudge him. He knows where his bread is buttered. As they say.
Yeah, he's not going to say anything negative to his employer.
No. And what's funny about it is he tries to pretend that he's not. And it's just like, just embrace the fact that you're a homer, dude.
We all know you are. We all know you are. Well, just like a few months ago, he did the interview with Mike Florio. And Florio went on there and literally told everybody that the Vikings will never win with Kirk Cousins.
Right.
After the commercial, PA made sure to come on and say the first thing out of his mouth: we here at K-Fan do not agree with any of the statements that Mike Florio made.
So
that tells you right there. Justin, you'll remember this.
And there's a little more behind that too, by the way.
For what K-Fan was when they first had the Vikings to what they are now, it is literally night and day.
I will say this: Barrero and Common, the two guys who are on after PA, Common and Barrero, they're still objective. But
they are.
Common tells the story all the time that when the Vikings first were on KFAN, before they left for CCO, back before McCombs owned the team, when it was the Gang of 10.
It was the Gang of 10, yeah.
The Gang of 10 told KFAN, you do not speak negatively of us. And they said, no, we're going to give our opinions whether you like them or not. And that's why the Vikings left for CCO for a while.
Well, they were really harsh on Denny for no reason. Wow. Really harsh on Denny. And that was because Denny wouldn't give them the little scoops and everything.
And it's also because Denny was just like, screw you guys. I don't care if you like me or not. I mean, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle between, because the media was good to Denny when he first got here. And then when Denny went to the playoffs and couldn't win a game.
When he lost that Bears game, that's when they let loose on him. When he lost that Bears playoff game. But they had been, what's his name had always been negative to him, Barrero. And at that time, he had Chad Hartman with him. And so they were negative. And then Mike Woodley was on there, negative as hell. to Denny. And it just got to the point where they said, well, we're going back to CCO where they'll give us positive.
Here's where I was going with Denny. Denny is, in my opinion, the second best coach behind Bud Grant, period.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Denny did not do himself any favors when he played the you-know-what card. Because it's like, Denny, I hear what you're saying, and some of what you're saying might be true. But that doesn't mean that everything you're saying is true. There was
a lot of truth to it, but also with Denny, as they say up here, he wasn't one of us.
That too.
He wasn't a holdover.
It's like, Denny, I do think you're being treated differently than other coaches might have been. But for you to make it exclusively 100% about the fact that you're black, that's not right either. Okay? He played the card to the fullest extent. And then he made up this ridiculous notion that there was this cabal. You remember the cabal? Barrero and Sansevier and Powers and Royce all got together.
All the ones that were all the guys in the local press that were nasty.
Right. Yeah, Denny made up this story that the four of them would get together at a Denny's and they were all going to plan out how negative they were going to be and how many bad stories. I'm like, come on, Denny, you're better than that.
Royce joked and said it was Murray's.
Yeah. Anyway, circling back, I forgot how we got on to.
Because Paul Allen. Of Paul Allen.
But my point is that yes, Common and Barrero are still objective.
Yeah.
Paul Allen, I'm sorry, with all due respect, I don't listen to. I listen when Florio's on because I love when Florio gets into it with him.
Yeah,
because Florio's keeping it straight. But like I said,
I'll be back. My dog got in the neighbor's yard.
Crap in it.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna check out right now, fellas. Justin, Tony, it's always good talking to you guys, man. I really appreciate the in-depth talk, from you guys in the history lessons, man. Keep it up, man.
Take care, D Woods.
All right.
I mean, personally, for me, since I've heard so many announcers with the team, he's not even top 5.
Okay, fair enough.
But I will say this:
he's exciting.
He's the longest.
Oh yeah,
he's the longest.
But you know why? Because he knows where his bread is buttered.
Yeah,
that's why I don't listen to his show. That's why I don't listen to his show anymore. It's just like, that's what I was going to say earlier about him and Cousins. He will also go to bat to Kirk because they align with worldly views. You get what I'm saying?
I got it. Yeah,
which is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just like you defend him because you agree with outside of football conversations.
Yeah, that one common denominator.
Which is fine. Again, I don't care about what people think or say off the field. I only care about on the field. Right. I said the same thing. I said I will criticize Kirk if he misses a game for this. I will criticize Harrison Smith when he missed a game. I'll criticize anybody. I don't care. You black, white, green, white, brown, yellow. I don't care. Exactly. Democrat, Republican. I don't give a bleep about any of that stuff. I'm not politicking. I don't do that. That's the one thing I say I will never do. Is that's not worth getting into. But like I said, at this point for me, I am excited. I really am, because at this point it's sink or swim. And so what I mean by that is this. Obviously, I want this team to win a Super Bowl. And if it's Kirk Cousins,
we all do.
If it's Kirk Cousins that brings us a Super Bowl, I'm cool with it.
I'm happy with it. I'll bite my tongue. I'll give him props.
And I'll say I was wrong.
I will.
What I don't want, here's where I'm going with this, and then I'm going to head out too because I got to get up pretty early.
Okay.
What I don't want is the middle. I hate the middle.
We've been in the middle for how many years now?
I'm 44. That's how long I got.
Yeah, and see, your whole generation has got it.
Exactly. It's like I want this team to be successful. And my definition of success is at least a conference championship game. Yep. Getting to the divisional round of the playoffs, big deal. Big deal. Oh, wow. So what? We've been to the divisional round. Oh, well, we won our division and we won a playoff game. Whoop-de-ding-dong.
And that's
So
why,
to me,
and with me, that's why I expect more. I've seen them get to the
exactly.
Super Bowl, win the championships.
Right.
I want
And if they don't
title.
get to the NFC Championship game, I'm not saying I want them to bomb, but
Mhm.
having them bomb will maybe be enough to convince the Wilfs to finally say, all right, we need to go in a different direction. We have tried this direction year upon year upon year.
You think? I mean, the Wilfs just seem so
Dead set.
dead set on not rebuilding. It's almost ad nauseum. It's almost
You
to the
know what
point
here's the thing. In 2020, when they were terrible,
yeah.
I remember calling into Score North's vent line when they
Mhm.
lost to Chicago and that eliminated them. And I said to them, this is what it's going to take for the Wilfs to finally fire Mike Zimmer. It's going to take them bombing. And I don't want them to bomb, but I also don't want to keep going down this same old road that we've been going down,
Right.
that sometimes it has to blow up in your face for them. I don't want the Vikings to fall flat on their face and miss the playoffs this year, because that means either Detroit, Chicago, or Green Bay, after all the trash talking they have done this offseason about how we were just lucky last year, we're not all that good, that means one of them would have won the division. I don't want that. But what I don't want is the Vikings to just squeak into the playoffs and that be a sign to the Wilfs that says, hey, we can just keep going with this. If you're a Vikings fan, nobody wants this team to be bad. But
No.
you should want more from your team than just a cute little club that is competitive for a division, and that if they're lucky, they win a wild card game.
And that's the thing with a lot of these so-called Viking fans when they hear another fan being negative. It's like, well, you're not a real fan. No, I'm a real fan because I want this team to succeed. But if I see something that is out of whatever, if I see issues with this team, I'm going to bring it up, because guess what? Those issues are going to keep us from getting where we need to be. That's not being a fair weather fan. That's being a real fan. Just because I don't yell "skull" and do the clap every 5 seconds does not make me not a fan.
And by the way,
good one, Yogi.
You wanted here's what's the problem with some people's mindsets. Some people think that the opposite of positivity is negativity, and it's not. The opposite of positivity is apathy. Because if you're negative, that means you still care. If you didn't care anymore, you wouldn't waste your time being negative. You would just be apoplectic about it.
Yeah, you'd be like, they lost. Oh, well.
Yeah, oh, well. That's the definition of being a fair weather fan is, oh, well, it doesn't bother me when they continuously lose in the wild card round or the divisional round. If that should bother you. If people say, well, Detroit Lions would love to win the division a couple times and lose in the wild card round. I'm like, congratulations, set your standards higher.
And Detroit's been around since 1934.
Detroit hasn't seen a playoff win since the Kennedy administration, okay? That's the last time they won a playoff game.
No, it was
or division.
It was Bush.
Was it Bush?
Yeah, they beat Dallas.
I'm sorry. They've had one playoff win.
And before then it was Eisenhower.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about Bill Belichick earlier, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time Bob Kraft had to think about his head coach? Let me put it to you this way on my way out. The Twin Towers still existed the last time Bob Kraft had to worry about a head coach. Because it was 2000.
They were still up.
Yeah.
They were still up, yep.
And the Twin Towers still existed the last time Bob
Clinton was president. Oh, my God.
No, I think Bush had just been sworn in, but...
Oh, was that like right at? No. Was that like
Towers was 2001. Bill Belichick was 2000, and Bush was 2000.
Okay, he took Pete Carroll's gig.
Right, but anyway, it's not negative to want more. It's not negative to not be content with mediocrity.
If you're matter of fact, I think if you're happy with mediocrity, that's on you. Then you don't look for much out of your team or anything.
I'd rather be mediocre than bad. What good does that get you?
We're going to have to be bad eventually, though.
Right. This notion that we can push through from being a mediocre team to a great team without taking the step back.
Without taking a step back, yeah.
That is when it's all said and done with all these conversations that we've had. What the Wills are trying to do is they're trying to be great without having to pay the price of being bad for a little bit. And all that does is keep you.
They do not want to live through the Christian Ponder year. They don't want to do that again.
Yes, exactly.
And they're trying so hard not to that they're going to have to. It's inevitable. Just like getting that quarterback, isn't it?
All right, it's after 11:30. Now I'll give you the real spicy analogy, right? Okay.
Okay. Kids are in bed.
Yeah, exactly. Winning a Super Bowl is like having sex and just, mind-blowing, blow your partner out of the water sex, okay? Getting to the divisional round of the playoffs is your wife gets you hard but doesn't finish you, okay? And missing the playoffs is your wife won't even touch you, okay? What's worse, your wife not even touching you, or she touches you enough but doesn't finish the job? At some point, yes, if your wife hasn't touched you for 10 years, you're happy to just be hard. And, oh my God, my wife actually touched me. Wow, this is awesome. At some point, you get sick of being blue-balled. At some point, being blue-balled isn't enough anymore. Yes, if you ain't been touched for 10 years, being blue-balled is awesome. Congratulations. Don't be content with being blue-balled, ladies and gentlemen.
If you really want to avoid it, don't get married.
That too.
Or do like the Bears GM, just handle it yourself and blow it all up. And on that note, we're out.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
I'll say this though, Tony. What's more crazy, that or T-Bass? Did you see T-Bass on One Bar the other day?
No, I didn't. What did I miss?
You missed T-Bass coming on the air right after he got his ass out of the shower, totally shirtless. I was in queue. I was in queue because they had opened up the line just like Yogi did. And there was one other person before me after T-Bass, and they brought me on. They're just like, "Yes, what's going on?" I'm just like, my night can't get any better after seeing T-Bass's ass. Oh my gosh. So I don't know which one was worse, the ending of this show or that. But my gosh, hey, gentlemen, it was fun. So, hey,
it's
Yogi,
been fun, guys.
We got to figure out if we're gonna carpool or if we're gonna meet. We got 2 weeks, but we got to get on that and. So let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah, we'll figure out. Maybe we'll meet before we go in.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Because I actually don't live that far away from the stadium, so I can either walk or take the bus.
Sounds like a plan. We'll definitely. What time does that game start? Does it start at noon or does it start?
It's a noon game.
Okay,
it's a noon game.
That's
why I took it because I'm like, get home by 3 and keep my ass at home.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a noon game, so Kirk Cousins will play. Oh wait, never mind. He ain't playing that game.
I don't think he's playing.
No, he's not gonna play at all.
He's not. Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna play it in preseason either.
No.
So we'll get a good look at Nick Mullins.
But you know what? We'll go the next few weeks and we'll let the rest of the teams in the end. Oh, hey, we won our preseason games and our quarterbacks look.
Well, on a closing note, this week they will scrimmage with the Titans and then have the game. Right. And then next week they're scrimmaging with the Cardinals and then the game. So you'll get a better feel how they look against opposition in practice. Let's see if the intensity gets turned up. It will with Brian Flores. I hope KOC will turn it up also. All we can do is see what happens. It's preseason, but this team better be ready come September 10th.
You think we sign Reisner? Yes or no?
I'm still 50-50 on that. I think somebody else will sign him before we do.
You think we should sign Reisner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Either that or work out something for Zach Martin.
Oh, I would do the Martin deal in a minute. I already said that.
Yeah, but they probably want too much.
But here's the problem. Here's the only problem with the Martin deal. He's coming. This is his 5th-year option. So you got your 5th-year option with him. You got your 5th-year option with T.J. Hawkinson. You got Justin Jefferson. You got what are you going to do with Kirk Cousins? And if at this point, I'm already looking forward to next season and just knowing that with all the free agents we got and all the cap problems we got, screw it.
This team's going to look completely different next year from this year,
gosh,
the year
yes.
before.
But I would do that deal. You've thrown all of this into it. You might as well at this point. But they wouldn't do something like that. But they can't keep going with Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram just doesn't have it. And it's not all on him because, again, you threw him in before he was ready. But it ought to tell you something that he's the only member of the starting offensive line that even suited up. And he looked terrible against second and third stringers.
Oh, and guess who was starting? Guess who I saw playing earlier? Oh, in Atlanta, Kyle Hinton.
Really?
And he looked good.
Of course he did.
That's why the first thing I said was it could be coaching. It could be the system.
Well, I think it's a combination. I think it's the system. I think it's coaching. I think it's the players. And again, this is not to knock Kirk Cousins. I'm done with my Kirk Cousins rants. He's our guy, and I'm behind him, and I want him to succeed. But all right, fine. One more analogy. I know Yogi's heard this. I don't know if Tony, if you've heard it or not, but you got a buddy in high school, and sophomore year, he starts dating this girl, and he's just so in love, and she's just perfect. And 3 months later, he breaks up with her. That bitch was crazy as hell after I got to know her. And between that and the end of senior year, he's gone through 7 girls, and they all ended up starting out great, and they all ended up crazy at the end. And your buddy's saying to you, what's with me? Why do I keep finding all these crazy girls? I'm like, what's the common denominator here, buddy? You're the common denominator. You think all these relationships just keep ending the same because all of these girls are crazy? Or do you think that maybe it's something you got going on? I'm your buddy. I got to tell you the truth. And I got to tell you the truth with Kirk Cousins. All of this talk about all the times we can't find guards for him or centers. It's because he's a statue. And he thinks the problem with him is all up here. He goes into a play expecting everything to be perfect. And it's like you can't find perfection 100% of the time. And so,
if it's not, he melts down.
And
he panics.
We can say all we want. I'm not here sitting saying that Ed Ingram's a good guard and he sucks because of Kirk Cousins. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is maybe the reason we can't find an interior to the level that it needs to be for Kirk Cousins isn't just coaching and isn't just talent evaluating and isn't just talent. Maybe it's just difficult to find guards that can play at a level that Kirk needs with Kirk behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
You got a statue quarterback back there that, he hung on to the ball and he took a bleep ton of hits last year. We give him all the props for standing in there, taking hits, getting his body right for the next week, on all that good stuff. I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying that maybe some of the reason why is his style of play.
Well, and Kirk is kind of to blame for that himself because his pocket presence is so bad and he holds the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
I told my quarterbacks, you're getting 3 to maybe 4 seconds out of me. You better do something with the ball.
Yeah, 4,
all right, gentlemen.
4 was a reach.
Yeah.
4 was a reach.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, take care, you guys.
See you, bye.
Bye.